Good evening, and welcome. As we quietly journey back more than 4 centuries to a time when the shores of North America were wild, untamed, and full of silent promise. Tonight, our story unfolds in a place called Plymouth Colony, a small settlement tucked along the rugged coast of what is now Massachusetts. The year is 1620. The first cold breaths of winter have begun to settle over the land, and the rolling waves of the Atlantic gently lap against the rocky shoreline. Sea spray drifts across the wooden piers and the sparse collection of homes that make up the colony. Smoke curls lazily from chimneys, carrying the faint scent of burning wood and cooking fires. The air is crisp, carrying hints of salt, pine, and the faint traces of the wilderness beyond. Plymouth Colony is quiet tonight, but it is alive in small, gentle ways. Families have finished their daily labors, fishing, chopping wood, tending small gardens, and have gathered near the warmth of their hearths. The village is simple, built of timber and wattle, with thatched roofs and small windows through which flickering candlelight glows like tiny stars. There is a rhythm here, soft and unhurried, a cadence of survival, prayer, and quiet community life. Imagine walking along the narrow, uneven paths between the homes. The wooden boards beneath your feet creak gently, and the occasional bark of a dog echoes across the empty square. You might see a family crouched together over a modest meal, the father speaking softly, the mother tending to a small child, and the older children gazing curiously at the flames. No loud celebrations disturb the night. No great events unfold in a rush. Instead, there is calm, stillness, and a delicate sense of routine that is both reassuring and timeless. The settlers of Plymouth Colony are often remembered for the storms they weathered, the harsh winters, and their fabled voyage on the Mayflower. But tonight, we are not chasing dramatic events. We are here for the quiet moments, the ones that rarely make history books, but carry the heartbeat of early American life. The gentle sighs of the wind. The faint shuffle of footsteps on wooden floors, the murmur of voices speaking prayers of thanks and hope. These are the threads that weave the soft tapestry of a colonial night. As you imagine this, perhaps you can hear the distant harbor, where small boats rock gently on the water. The gulls have long since settled, leaving only the whisper of waves against the hulls. Some colonists may walk along the shore, carrying lanterns, peering into the darkness for signs of fish or the occasional deer that ventures close to the settlement. Their movements are slow, deliberate, purposeful, yet quiet enough not to disturb the calm of the night. Inside the homes, the hearths crackle. The flames cast playful shadows on the wooden walls, dancing softly across the faces of those gathered. There is a sense of safety here, of warmth against the cold and the darkness that stretches beyond the village. And though the colonists face hardships each day, harsh winters, uncertain harvests, and the challenge of living in a new world, they find comfort in each other's presence, in the soft patterns of their daily lives. Perhaps one can notice the small details, the mother carefully placing a loaf of bread on the table, the gentle clinking of a wooden spoon stirring a pot, the way a child's eyes grow heavy and slowly close as sleep calls them. Everything moves slowly tonight, and everything is deliberate. Even the village dogs have nestled into their beds, their soft breathing adding to the rhythm of calm. This is a night like so many others in Plymouth Colony, a night without alarms or urgent crises, a night that whispers quietly to those willing to notice its subtle beauty. And as you listen, let your mind wander along these paths, through the smoke-filled rooms, past the candlelit windows, and toward the quiet harbor where the water glimmers in the moonlight. The settlers themselves would have known that life was fragile here, balanced between survival and hope. And yet, In this quiet, gentle night, there is peace. There is safety. There is the soft, enduring pulse of human life, slowly moving forward, even in a world so new and uncertain. So, let us linger a while longer, letting the gentle rhythms of Plymouth Colony fill our senses. Let the soft sounds of distant waves, flickering fires, and hushed voices guide your mind into calmness. There is no rush tonight, no need to hurry. Just a slow, quiet immersion into the world of early America, where history is not made in loud declarations or dramatic events, but in the small, tender moments that make up a day. And a night, as we slowly walk the paths of this colonial village, keep your eyes softly closed if you like. Or let them rest gently on your surroundings. Allow the gentle cadence of the story to guide your breath, slow your heartbeat, and draw your mind into a restful calm. In Plymouth Colony tonight, the world is quiet, and so can your mind be, and so we begin our slow, peaceful exploration of a quiet night in Plymouth Colony. A night filled with calm, gentle wonder, and the comforting whispers of early American life. As the sun dips below the horizon, a soft golden glow lingers briefly over the village of Plymouth Colony. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the sky deepens to shades of lavender and indigo, and the first twinkling stars appear, timidly peeking through the fading light. The colony, tucked against the cold Atlantic coast, begins to settle into the gentle rhythm of evening. The air cools, carrying the mingled scents of salt water, damp earth, and the smoke of many small fires burning quietly inside the homes. Inside the cottages, the settlers move with a calm, unhurried grace. Each task is deliberate, sweeping the floor to rid it of the day's dust, tending to the animals one last time before night fully takes hold. Gathering a final log for the fire that will warm the family through the long, dark hours ahead. There is a soothing rhythm to it all, as if the village itself is exhaling and settling down after the activity of the day. You might imagine yourself standing on a quiet path through the village. Lanterns begin to glow softly outside the homes, their flickering flames reflecting on the wet wooden boards and casting elongated, gentle shadows that sway with the evening breeze. A soft wind rustles through the trees at the edge of the settlement, whispering a faint, comforting lullaby that carries over the small cluster of cottages. Somewhere in the distance, a dog lifts its head, lets out a low, sleepy whine, and settles back into a patch of hay. Even the children of Plymouth Colony begin to slow their movements. Tiny hands clutch blankets, and small feet drag wearily along the rough floors as the day's excitement gives way to the pull of sleep. Mothers speak in gentle tones, soothing the little ones with quiet words and soft humming, while fathers glance at the darkening horizon, nodding to neighbors in muted acknowledgement of another day survived. The evening carries no urgency, only the gentle promise of rest and continuity. From the hearths, the glow of firelight flickers softly against the walls. The crackling of burning wood forms a comforting rhythm, steady and predictable. A sound that lulls even the most restless mind. In some homes, simple meals are finished, a small stew of root vegetables, a slice of hard bread, or a cup of thin, warm broth. The aroma is faint but welcoming, curling gently through the air. And as the final spoons are set aside and the plates cleared, the family gathers near the hearth, sharing quiet conversation, prayer, or the simple satisfaction of another day endured. Outside, the village is nearly silent. Occasionally, the soft murmur of voices drifts from a neighbor's window, but the words are indistinct, carried lightly on the wind. The wooden docks creak ever so gently as the tide moves in and out along the shore, a subtle reminder of the vast sleeping ocean that borders the colony. Occasionally, the distant hoot of an owl punctuates the hush, yet even this adds to the calm rather than disturbing it, like nature's own quiet punctuation marks in the stillness of the evening. As night deepens, shadows grow longer and the lantern's light becomes warmer and more intimate. Each cottage glows softly, like a tiny island of safety against the encroaching darkness. The settlers' movements slow further, and even the busiest among them find themselves pausing, listening, perhaps reflecting on the quiet world around them. Their lives are hard, yes, but tonight the world seems suspended, balanced between the exertions of the day and the restorative power of rest. Imagine walking slowly down one of the narrow paths between the cottages. You feel the gentle give of the earth underfoot, hear the soft brush of a cat slipping quietly through the tall grasses, notice the faint scent of burning pine. The village is alive, yet in the calmest, most unhurried way imaginable. Every movement, every sound, seems designed to soothe rather than startle. And as you continue, perhaps you notice a group of elders gathered near a larger hearth, sharing quiet tales of the past, stories of the Mayflower's voyage, the first planting of crops, and the struggles and small triumphs that have shaped their days. Their voices are low and measured, each word deliberate. Each pause long enough to let the mind wander into calmness. Even the harbor feels different at this hour. The small boats float silently, gently swaying with the tides. The sea, vast and mysterious, mirrors the dark sky, reflecting the faint glimmer of stars and lanterns. There is no urgency in the water's movement, no roar of engines, no modern disruptions, just the slow, timeless motion of waves and wind, carrying a sense of peace that seeps into every corner of the colony. Back inside, the rhythm of hearth and home continues. Children are tucked into beds of straw or simple quilts, their eyelids heavy, their breathing soft and regular. Mothers and fathers whisper a final goodnight. Adjusting blankets, smoothing hair, and pausing to watch the flickering fire before stepping back into quiet tasks or resting themselves. The soft murmur of prayers drifts through the rooms, words of thanks, hope, and reflection. And as sleep begins to settle over the village, even the adults start to let their bodies relax fully, trusting in the slow continuity of life and the safety of their small community. Tonight, Plymouth Colony is not a place of drama or tension. It is a place of gentle rhythms, quiet work, and the soft hum of life moving slowly forward. And as you imagine yourself here, walking through the paths, hearing the whispers of wind and wood, feeling the calm glow of fires, let your mind rest. Let the gentle pace of the evening guide your thoughts into a state of serenity. The village continues to exhale softly, the lantern's light dancing like tiny, steadfast stars, and the faint sounds of life continue, slow and comforting. In this way, the evening settles fully, wrapping Plymouth Colony, and perhaps you, listening, with a soft, quiet blanket of calm. The world outside may be vast and unpredictable, but here, for tonight, everything is gentle, steady, and safe, and so, as the stars deepen overhead, and the fires burn quietly in each home, let yourself drift slowly alongside the settlers of Plymouth Colony. Resting, relaxing, and surrendering to the calm of a peaceful evening. A night designed not for action, but for reflection, tranquility, and sleep. Now, imagine yourself stepping softly onto the uneven path that winds through the heart of Plymouth Colony. The night has fully settled in, draping the village in gentle shades of navy and indigo. Lanterns hang from wooden posts and doorways, glowing softly, their light reflecting in the small puddles left from an earlier drizzle. The air carries a faint chill, tinged with the scent of salt from the nearby sea and the earthy aroma of damp soil. Each step you take is slow, deliberate, and mindful, as if the night itself is inviting you to move carefully and quietly. The cottages you pass are simple and unassuming, yet full of warmth. Each home has a small hearth, and the faint glow of firelight escapes through tiny windows. You can see the shadows of families gathered inside, fathers reading from well-worn texts, mothers humming softly as they mend clothes, and children quietly folding their hands in prayer before sleep. The soft flicker of candlelight paints everything in warm golds and browns, turning the ordinary walls into moving tapestries of gentle light and shadow. A light breeze stirs the air, brushing against your face, rustling the leaves of the sparse trees scattered between homes. The wind carries a faint sound of the sea, distant and rhythmic, like the world itself breathing in harmony with the colony. Occasionally, the quiet bark of a dog or the soft mewl of a cat echoes through the village, punctuating the calm with life's small, reassuring noises. Even these sounds are gentle, deliberate, and slow, perfectly in tune with the mood of the evening. As you wander further, notice the details that might otherwise go unnoticed: the careful stacking of firewood against a cottage wall, a lantern left on a windowsill to guide a traveler or a returning fisherman, the faint smoke curling lazily from chimneys, moving like drifting spirits through the night air. Each little detail tells a story of quiet diligence, care, and attention. Life in Plymouth Colony may be hard, but it is full of thoughtfulness and a steady rhythm that carries through every action. The paths between cottages are narrow, often lined with small stones or patches of grass. The ground is slightly soft from recent rain, giving under your feet with each careful step. Along the way, you notice children's toys left behind, a small wooden spinning top resting on a doorstep, a simple clay figurine peeking from the straw in a bed. Even in play, life here is gentle, shaped by the slow cadence of their surroundings. The larger square of the village lies ahead, where a modest meeting house stands. Its wooden frame is plain, yet it radiates a quiet importance, a hub for the colony's prayers, decisions, and gatherings. Tonight, it is silent, doors closed, a single lantern burning near the entrance. The shadows cast by its walls stretch long across the square, mingling with the soft shapes of benches, barrels, and carts left for the morning's work. This silence feels deliberate, almost sacred, a reminder that the night is a time for rest, reflection, and gentle observation. Passing by, you notice the small gardens behind cottages, carefully tended even in the chill of autumn. Root vegetables lie half buried in the soil, their muted colors hidden beneath the frost-tinged earth. Herbs are tied in neat bundles, ready for drying and use in meals. Even these quiet, unassuming parts of life contribute to the rhythm of the village, a reminder that survival is woven into every small, thoughtful action. Some settlers are still moving quietly about. Perhaps a fisherman returns from checking his nets, slipping softly along the boardwalk to his small home. Perhaps a mother carries a child who fell asleep during chores, swaying gently to lull them further into rest. Even the most practical tasks, feeding animals, tending fires, or securing the barn doors, are done slowly, deliberately, and softly, as if aware that the night belongs to calm and reflection. The harbor lies just beyond the village. You can hear it now, the faint slap of waves against the wooden docks, the gentle creak of moored boats swaying with the tide. A soft mist drifts over the water, carrying the scent of the sea into the heart of the colony. The lighthouse, a solitary structure in the distance, casts its faint, steady beam over the water, not in urgency, but as a guiding light, gentle and reassuring, much like the colony itself. as your walk continues, the quiet sounds of the village form a tapestry around you. The subtle scraping of a broom across wooden floors, the low murmur of conversation inside homes, the occasional crackle from a hearth as logs settle. Each sound is gentle, soft, and measured, blending seamlessly with the whispering wind and the distant sea. There is no rush here, no sudden noises, only the steady pulse of life moving slowly, intentionally, toward rest. You pass the colony's small barn, where animals are already settled for the night. Cows lie down, their breaths forming faint clouds in the cold evening air. Chickens roost quietly, their feathers ruffling softly as they shift. Even the animals contribute to the calmness, their presence steady and reassuring, part of the colony's soft rhythm of life. Perhaps you notice the small gestures of kindness scattered throughout the village. A neighbor has left a bucket of water outside for another family. A lantern is tilted just so, casting light on a path that might otherwise be dark. These small acts, seemingly insignificant, carry a profound sense of care, thoughtfulness, and community. In a world so quiet and deliberate, every action has a gentle purpose. As your walk begins to draw to a close, take a moment to pause near the heart of the village. Look up at the sky, now a deep velvet dotted with countless stars. The faint moon hangs low, casting silver light across rooftops and gardens. Everything, the cottages, the people, the animals, the harbor, is bathed in this quiet glow. And as you stand there, it is easy to imagine the colony breathing in unison, a living, calm organism, moving slowly through the night. You can let yourself take one final, deep breath here. Inhale the crisp, salt-tinged air, the faint warmth of lingering fires, and the subtle scent of the earth. Exhale, releasing any tension, any restlessness. Let the calmness of Plymouth Colony seep into your own body and mind. You are walking slowly through history, yet the rhythm is your own, your heartbeat syncing with the gentle pulse of life around you. Tonight, the village sleeps not in silence, but in gentle sounds and quiet life. Each soft step you take, each flicker of light, each rustle of leaves, each distant call of an owl, carries the slow, steady heartbeat of Plymouth Colony. And as you prepare to move on from this walk, let this calm, deliberate pace guide you further into the night, into soft reflection, and into the gentle embrace of rest. As our evening stroll through Plymouth Colony comes to a gentle pause, let us step quietly inside one of its humble cottages, where the heart of the home, the hearth, casts a warm, flickering glow over everything it touches. Tonight, the fire is steady, the flames soft and golden, curling lazily upward as they consume logs that crackle quietly. In this gentle light, the cottage is transformed from mere wood and thatch into a sanctuary of warmth, safety, and calm. Imagine the air inside, a mix of the smoky scent of burning wood and the faint aroma of cooking, a simple stew of root vegetables, perhaps a little dried meat, and water thickened over the day's gentle labor. There is a sweetness to the smell of bread baked earlier, now cooling on a small wooden board. Every scent is subtle, never overpowering, yet it adds to the sense of comfort, as if the home itself is breathing out warmth and security into the quiet night. Near the fire, the family gathers. The father sits on a low wooden stool, hands resting calmly in his lap. He gazes at the fire, watching the dancing shadows play across the walls. Perhaps he reflects on the day's work, or perhaps he allows his thoughts to drift gently, untethered, as the night envelopes him. The mother kneels beside the hearth, tending the cooking pot or mending clothing by the firelight. Her hands move slowly and deliberately, each stitch made with care, each motion measured and steady. The children, tucked into corners of the room or on small straw-filled mattresses, are beginning to yield to sleep. One rests its head against a folded blanket, eyes fluttering closed, the gentle rhythm of its breathing syncing with the soft crackle of the fire. Another child sits quietly on a stool, tracing the grain of the wooden floor with tiny fingers, listening to the whispers of the evening. Their parents speak in hushed tones, if at all, aware that the quiet must be preserved, and that the night belongs to calmness and reflection. In the flickering light, shadows dance on the walls, moving slowly and gracefully, like soft echoes of the lives unfolding within the room. A broom leans against a wall. A basket of herbs rests in a corner, and a few small wooden toys hint at the lives of the children who play and dream here. Each object tells a story of survival, thoughtfulness, and the gentle care woven into every day. Even the simplest items, a clay cup, a wooden spoon, a folded cloth, carry meaning, as if the calm, deliberate rhythm of life in Plymouth Colony has imbued them with a quiet purpose. Perhaps the family pauses for a moment of prayer. Their voices are low, melodic, almost a whisper in the darkness. Gratitude for food, for shelter, for the safety of the night. Hopes for the morrow, for health, for the continued survival of the small community. These words are soft, deliberate, carrying no urgency, only the gentle cadence of reflection and faith. And as you listen, you may notice how the slow, measured pace of the prayers themselves seems to soothe the soul, drawing the listener into the same state of calm. The fire continues its quiet performance, crackling softly, throwing tiny sparks that vanish almost instantly into the air. The warmth radiates outward, touching every corner of the room. Even the walls, constructed from rough timber and wattle, seem to soak in the glow, reflecting it back in muted shades of amber and gold. The hearth is more than a place for cooking, it is the heart of the home, a center of comfort and continuity, a source of both warmth and quiet magic. Through the small windows, the night continues outside. The lanterns along the paths flicker gently, mirroring the hearth's glow. A soft wind brushes through the nearby trees, rustling leaves with a quiet whisper that mixes with the faint sounds of the harbor. The distant waves lap softly against the shore, a steady rhythm that echoes the heartbeat of the colony. All of this, fire, wind, water, blends together, creating a serene symphony of life, slow and unhurried, perfect for guiding the mind toward sleep. Within the home, small acts of care continue. Perhaps the mother brings a cup of warm broth to a child who stirs in their sleep, placing it gently beside them and adjusting the blanket with tender hands. Perhaps the father stirs the fire, nudging a log to ensure a steady, soft warmth. Each action is deliberate, measured, and calm, contributing to the overall feeling of peace that fills the room. In one corner, a small writing desk holds a few pieces of parchment and a quill. A settler may pause to jot a note, documenting daily life, observations of the weather, or reflections on the community. The scratching of quill against paper is slow and rhythmic, a subtle companion to the crackling fire and the distant murmurs of the night. Even these quiet tasks, small and seemingly mundane, carry with them a meditative quality, a way to anchor the mind in calm and purpose. The children, now fully surrendered to sleep, breathe in gentle, even rhythms. Occasionally, a soft sigh or the slight movement of a hand on the blanket is all that indicates life. The parents, now seated near the fire, allow themselves to relax fully, leaning back and letting the warmth seep into their bodies. The small household is a world in miniature, self-contained, balanced between survival and serenity, each motion and sound part of a quiet, enduring rhythm. As the night deepens, the firelight softens. The shadows grow longer, merging into one another, until the room is bathed in a gentle amber haze. The world outside is quiet, and the interior of the home mirrors this tranquility. Time seems to stretch in slow, measured not in hours, but in breaths, in heartbeats, in the faint crackle of wood, in the gentle rise and fall of sleeping chests. Even the smallest details contribute to the atmosphere. A basket of herbs on the windowsill sways slightly with a draft. The wooden floorboards, warmed by the fire and the slow movements of the family, emit a soft, comforting creak as someone shifts position. The smell of baking bread mingles with the fire smoke, creating a calm, enveloping fragrance that wraps the household in a sense of security and familiarity. And as you, the listener, imagine yourself here, perhaps lying in bed or sitting quietly in the dim light of your own home, allow your mind to absorb this calm. Let the warmth of the hearth, the gentle movements of the family, the soft sounds of night, and the slow, steady rhythm of life in Plymouth Colony seep into your own consciousness. Each detail, each flicker of light, each whisper of wind becomes part of a gentle lullaby, guiding your thoughts toward rest. Tonight, the hearth is more than just a fire. It is a symbol of endurance, of continuity, of gentle care. It is the slow pulse of home, the quiet heartbeat of Plymouth Colony, offering reassurance and comfort. And as the flames dance, casting shadows that move like soft whispers across the walls, you can feel the world itself slowing down, bending gently toward rest, embracing calmness, and inviting sleep. So let the warmth, the soft sounds, and the quiet rhythm of this colonial home wrap around you. Let your body sink into relaxation, your thoughts drift like the smoke rising from the chimney, and your mind follow the slow cadence of life here into a peaceful, restorative sleep. Tonight, in Plymouth Colony, every hearth burns with gentle purpose, every home is a sanctuary, and every quiet moment invites calm, reflection, and serenity. And now, we will move forward, gently exploring more of this tranquil world, slowly, peacefully, and always with the soft rhythms of history guiding our minds toward rest. As the night deepens in Plymouth Colony, a quiet curiosity lingers in the air. Earlier this evening, perhaps a lantern went missing from one of the cottages, leaving a faint sense of mystery for the settlers. It is not a troubling event, no danger or conflict, but rather a gentle puzzle, a tiny ripple in an otherwise calm world. And tonight, we walk softly alongside the resolution, allowing the story to unfold slowly, like the gentle unfolding of a leaf at dawn. The village is hushed. Every house glows warmly from within, the fires flickering like soft, golden eyes that watch over the night. The settlers move carefully, quietly checking the few small details of their homes and paths. Outside, the wind rustles through the trees, carrying a calming rhythm that seems to soothe both people and animals. Somewhere in the distance, the faint lap of waves against the shore adds its soft, steady voice to the evening's chorus. One of the fathers, carrying a lantern in his hand, walks slowly down a familiar path. His steps are deliberate, careful not to disturb the stillness of the village. He passes the children's beds, peeking quietly through the windows of cottages, and sees the gentle rise and fall of sleeping chests. The lantern in his hand glows faintly, casting soft, golden reflections on the frost-dusted ground. He pauses near a cluster of cottages, sensing that tonight, the minor mystery of the missing lantern will quietly resolve itself. As he approaches the edge of the village, near the small garden paths, he notices a faint glow under a low wooden fence. A rabbit perhaps, or the faint reflection of moonlight. He steps closer, slowly, and discovers the missing lantern, tucked carefully behind a pile of firewood. It seems a playful child, perhaps curious or eager to move the light closer to their window, had carried it here earlier in the day. The solution is simple, peaceful, and brings a gentle smile to the father's face. There is no urgency, no fear, only a quiet sense of calm and mild amusement. The lantern is returned to its proper place. And the soft glow resumes its watch over the cottage. The village breathes a quiet sigh, the gentle rhythm of life resuming without disruption. The children, still asleep, remain unaware of the small adventure that occurred just beyond their beds, their dreams undisturbed by the minor events of the evening. Even the adults move with soft smiles and slow, deliberate motions, their sense of order restored, their trust in the gentle balance of their community affirmed. Inside another cottage, the mother adjusts the blanket of a sleeping child, softly humming a tune that has traveled through generations of settlers. The tune itself is slow and deliberate, each note a gentle ripple through the quiet room. Outside, the lanterns now glow steadily, the fires in the hearths crackle softly, and the village resumes its slow, unhurried cadence. Every small sound, the faint shuffle of a wooden floor, the distant cry of an owl, the soft murmur of wind through the trees, blend seamlessly into the calming tapestry of night. This small resolution reminds us that life in Plymouth Colony is not measured by grand events or dramatic occurrences, but by the slow, deliberate care that people show to each other and to the world around them. A misplaced lantern may seem trivial, yet its gentle recovery reflects the quiet attentiveness and thoughtful action that define this community. There is no rush, no stress, only the steady, deliberate rhythm of life moving forward with care and calm. As the family gathers near the hearth once more, the father sets the lantern in its proper place. The soft glow illuminates the room, reflecting off the walls and ceiling in warm, comforting patterns. The children, still nestled under blankets, breathe steadily, completely unaware of the minor adventure their curiosity had sparked. The mother smiles softly, resuming her mending, while the father sits back and allows the fire's warmth to seep slowly into his body, relaxing each muscle, easing each thought. Outside, the village is fully embraced by night. The soft hush of Plymouth Colony is uninterrupted. The gentle rustle of leaves, the faint slap of waves against the docks, and the occasional distant call of a night bird continue to fill the spaces between homes. All is calm, orderly, and reassuring. Even the harbor, with its bobbing boats and quiet reflections of lanterns on the water, seems to exhale a slow, rhythmic sigh of contentment, and as you imagine this resolution, perhaps you feel your own mind settling. Just as the lantern finds its way back to safety, so too can your thoughts return to calm. Small worries, like the misplaced light, dissolve softly into the night. The gentle rhythm of breath, the slow cadence of imagination, and the soothing story of Plymouth Colony combine to create a lullaby for the mind, a soft, steady song of calm, reassurance, and rest. The settlers, though living in a world that is unpredictable and often harsh, have cultivated a way to embrace the night with quiet patience. They understand the value of care, of deliberate action, of tending to even the smallest details with attention and love. And in this way, Plymouth Colony thrives, not through grand gestures or dramatic feats, but through the quiet, measured acts that restore balance and calm, night after night. So, as we linger in this peaceful village, let us take a slow, deep breath together. Imagine the warmth of the hearth, the steady glow of the lantern, the soft movements of the villagers, and the gentle rhythm of the night. Let these images seep into your consciousness, filling your mind with calm, your heart with peace, and your body with relaxation. Tonight, the minor mystery is resolved, the village breathes evenly, and the night continues, calm and untroubled. Each soft sound, the crackle of fire, the rustle of leaves, the gentle sigh of waves, becomes part of a serene melody, guiding you slowly toward rest. And as Plymouth Colony rests under the stars, so too can your mind settle, embracing the quiet, gentle flow of history, tranquility, and calm. Let the lantern's soft light remind you that even the smallest concerns have gentle resolutions. Let the warmth of the hearth remind you that safety, comfort, and care are always present. And let the calm rhythm of the village guide your thoughts into stillness, preparing your mind and body for a slow, restful sleep. Tonight, Plymouth Colony offers more than a glimpse of early American life. It offers a quiet sanctuary of calm, a gentle reassurance that even in the midst of uncertainty, there is peace, there is care, and there is the soft, steady heartbeat of life moving ever forward. And as we leave this little village to drift further into the night, remember the gentle lessons of the hearth, the lantern, and the slow, peaceful cadence of human life here, lessons that can guide your own journey into rest and relaxation. The night in Plymouth Colony deepens, and a gentle stillness settles over the village. The fires burn low in the hearths, their warmth wrapping the homes in a comforting glow. Lanterns sway softly outside, casting long, calm shadows across the wooden paths. Somewhere in the distance, the steady lap of waves against the shore blends with the whispering wind, forming a quiet lullaby that stretches across the settlement. Inside the cottages, the day's work has finished, and the villagers pause in quiet reflection. Here, in these simple homes, the evening is a time for gentle prayer, meditation, and thought. The settlers have faced the harshness of the new world daily, the cold, the unpredictable weather, the challenge of survival, and now, as night falls, they turn inward. They bow their heads softly, speaking words of thanks for what has been given, for food, shelter, the safety of family, and the slow, steady rhythm of another day completed. Imagine a mother kneeling by the hearth, her hands folded in calm repose. The firelight dances across her face, highlighting the faint lines of care, the subtle fatigue of the day, and the quiet satisfaction of small accomplishments. Her prayer is soft, slow, a gentle melody that blends with the sounds of night, the flickering fire, the whispering wind, and the distant rustle of leaves. Her words are deliberate, each one chosen with thought. Each pause a breath in the serene rhythm of evening reflection. Nearby, the father sits on a simple wooden stool, his back straight but relaxed, his gaze cast downward. He too offers quiet prayers, thoughts mingling with gratitude and hope. He reflects on the day's tasks, the tending of animals, the fixing of fences, the gathering of food. He thinks of the neighbors who may have needed assistance, and of small acts of kindness he witnessed. Each reflection is calm, measured, almost like a slow conversation with the night itself. The practice is not hurried, nor is it anxious, it is a deliberate act of slowing down, a bridge between day and sleep. Even the children, now mostly asleep, are touched by the calm of these reflections. The soft rhythm of whispered prayers drifts through the rooms, mingling with the quiet breathing of little ones. Occasionally, a small voice murmurs a thank you or good night, a brief note in the village's larger nocturnal symphony. These sounds are gentle and reassuring, a reminder that reflection and gratitude can be as simple as a whispered word or a thoughtful thought before sleep. Outside, the colony seems to breathe in unison. The wind passes through the trees with measured patience. The harbor is calm, the water reflecting the pale light of the moon. A few distant stars twinkle faintly, mirroring the lanterns on the paths below. The night itself seems to respond to the settlers' reflections, embracing the village in a protective, serene cloak. Every sound, every movement, is part of a natural rhythm that encourages stillness, quiet, and calm. The settlers' prayers are not grand or elaborate. They are small, personal, and sincere, spoken in the soft tones of everyday language. They include thanks for a safe journey across the sea, for a good harvest, for friends and neighbors, for the ability to rise each day and continue the work of survival in a new and challenging land. There is an intimacy in these quiet moments, a shared understanding that even the simplest words, spoken with care, can connect individuals to one another and to the world around them. Imagine following the soft echoes of these prayers through the village. You pass cottages where families are gathered near the hearth, listening to each other's whispers, to the crackle of firewood, and to the quiet hum of evening. Each household is a small island of calm, a microcosm of life moving at a deliberate pace, where every motion and word is measured to preserve peace. In these spaces, there is no urgency, no loudness, no rush, only the slow unfolding of evening rituals and contemplative thought, even in moments of minor worry, a concern for a sick animal, a worried thought about tomorrow's work, or the remembrance of a friend far away. The settlers' reflections are gentle, soft, and balanced. They acknowledge difficulties without letting them dominate, allowing the calm rhythm of the night to soothe their minds. It is a delicate harmony, a balance between reality and serenity, between attentiveness and release, which transforms the evening into a sanctuary for both body and spirit. Some settlers also take this time to reflect silently, without words, simply observing the night. They watch the firelight dance across walls, notice the pattern of stars through the small windows, listen to the gentle sway of the trees outside. In these moments, the mind slows, the body relaxes, and thoughts become gentle companions rather than urgent distractions. It is an invitation to rest, to unwind, and to let the peaceful cadence of life in Plymouth Colony guide the listener into calm awareness and slow, restorative breathing. Even small, ordinary actions, folding laundry, straightening a stool, smoothing a blanket over a sleeping child, become part of this ritual of reflection. Every movement is deliberate, purposeful, and gentle, reinforcing the slow pace of life that defines the colony. There is a quiet poetry in these simple acts, a reassurance that even the smallest gestures carry meaning, care, and intention. As you listen to this soft, immersive world, imagine yourself sitting quietly beside the hearth, breathing slowly in harmony with the household. Feel the warmth of the fire, the subtle aromas of cooking and smoke, the faint whisper of wind against the window panes. Let the rhythm of gentle prayers, the measured pace of reflections, and the calm, deliberate motions of the settlers seep into your own awareness. Each element guides your mind toward serenity, inviting calm thoughts, peaceful reflection, and rest. Tonight, the prayers of Plymouth Colony are not just words, they are lullabies. They carry the gentle wisdom of those who have lived close to the land, who understand that peace is cultivated slowly, deliberately, and with mindfulness. As the fire burns low, as the lanterns glow softly, and as the night deepens outside, these moments of quiet reflection wrap the village in comfort. And as the settlers finish their final prayers and allow their thoughts to drift, the village itself seems to sigh in contentment. The small mysteries of the day are resolved, the minor worries are acknowledged and released, and the gentle pulse of life continues its soft rhythm. The night is a companion, not an adversary, and sleep arrives slowly, like a soft tide washing over the harbor, gentle and inevitable. So, let your own thoughts slow as you imagine this scene. Inhale the calm of the hearth, the stillness of the rooms, the soft whispers of prayers. Exhale, letting the night's rhythm carry your mind away from the cares of the day. In Plymouth Colony tonight, the settlers have found a quiet peace through reflection, prayer, and mindfulness, and you, listening now, can find it too. Let this calm, gentle world guide you further into relaxation. Let the soft cadence of thought, light, and warmth sink deeply into your mind. Allow every detail, the flickering fire, the rustling leaves, the whisper of distant waves, and the measured voices of the villagers, to carry you closer to serenity, and let the night envelop you fully in its slow, peaceful embrace. Tonight, Plymouth Colony teaches us that even in the midst of labor, uncertainty, and the newness of a harsh world, there is always room for reflection, gratitude, and calm. And as the settlers settle fully into sleep, so too can you surrender. Breathing in the tranquility of this quiet village, and letting the soft rhythms of history carry you toward a gentle, restful night. As the night deepens in Plymouth Colony, the village is quiet, yet a gentle rhythm continues to hum softly through the cottages. The fires in the hearths flicker low, casting a soft golden glow over walls and ceilings. Outside, the lanterns sway slowly in the calm evening air, and the distant ocean hums its steady, soothing song. Tonight, we linger on the smallest members of this colonial community, the children, whose sleepy eyes and whispered breaths embody the slow heartbeat of life in this quiet settlement. Inside a modest cottage, a mother gently lifts her youngest child from the day's bed of straw. The little one yawns softly, curling into her arms, eyes heavy with exhaustion and dreams yet to come. The mother rocks the child slowly, in measured, deliberate motions, allowing the gentle sway to ease tension from tiny limbs. Each motion is intentional, soft, and rhythmic, like a lullaby in motion. Her hands cradle the child carefully, her fingers tracing gentle patterns along the soft wool of a blanket, each movement a silent promise of warmth and safety. Across the room, another child stirs in their bed, their small frame shifting beneath a coarse but comforting quilt. A parent leans down, brushing stray hair from a forehead and whispering calm words. Perhaps a gentle story is told, not of dragons, battles, or wild adventure, but of simple things, the soft glow of firelight, the rustle of leaves outside, or the quiet shimmer of stars in the night sky. These stories are slow, repetitive, and soothing, a rhythm designed to ease the mind into rest, rather than excited. The children of Plymouth Colony are accustomed to the slow pace of life. They have learned the rhythms of the colony, the rising and setting of the sun, the work of the day, the tending of animals, the planting and gathering of crops. Tonight, as they are tucked into bed, they feel the steady heartbeat of their world. As the village of Plymouth Colony settles into a calm, deliberate rhythm, our attention drifts toward the harbor, where the gentle touch of night transforms the coastal scene into a serene, almost meditative landscape. The water lies quietly, reflecting the pale glow of the moon and the faint flickers of lanterns from the village. Each ripple is slow, deliberate, and rhythmic, a steady heartbeat of the natural world that perfectly complements the quietude of the colony. Imagine stepping softly along the wooden docks. The boards creak faintly beneath your careful steps, a sound that is neither loud nor startling, but measured, soft, and grounding. The scent of salt water drifts into the air, mingling with the faint earthy aroma of the village and the subtle smoke from distant hearths. The breeze carries the cool, gentle touch of the ocean, brushing your skin and ruffling loose strands of hair, reminding you that the night is alive with subtle movement even as it remains profoundly calm. The boats tied to the docks bob gently in the water, their hulls swaying in a slow, meditative rhythm. Nets lie neatly coiled on deck, sails furled and secured for the night. The quiet lapping of the tide against the wooden pilings forms a soft, natural cadence, like the gentle beat of a drum played by the ocean itself. Occasionally, a gull's distant call echoes faintly, adding a soft note to the nighttime symphony without breaking the serenity. Lanterns, hung along the docks and aboard a few boats, glow with a steady, warm light. Their reflections ripple softly across the water, creating patterns that shift with the tide. Each reflection seems deliberate, stretching and contracting with the movement of the waves, forming a gentle, hypnotic dance. It is easy to imagine yourself watching these shifting lights for hours, letting your thoughts drift in time with the subtle movement of the harbor. Fishermen who returned earlier in the evening have finished tending their nets and securing their boats. They now stand quietly on the docks or sit on low stools, resting from the day's labor. Their movements are slow and deliberate, each gesture measured, as if in harmony with the calm rhythm of the night. Sometimes they pause to glance across the water, observing the moon's reflection or the distant twinkle of stars, allowing themselves a few moments of quiet reflection before the return to their cottages. The harbor is not silent, but the sounds are gentle, each one contributing to the overall feeling of tranquility. The creak of a rope, the soft slap of a boat against the dock, the faint murmur of the tide, and the whispering of wind through the rigging all blend together. The combination is soothing, like the soft notes of a lullaby played in perfect tempo, inviting both mind and body to slow down and relax. Imagine walking further along the water's edge, your hands brushing lightly against the weathered railings. The cool night air carries the faint scent of seaweed and the earthy smell of damp wooden piers. Your eyes trace the faint outlines of distant boats, anchored securely, their shadows long and soft under the moonlight. Even the smallest details, a rope coiled neatly on deck, a lantern gently swinging in the breeze, speak of careful attention, order, and calm. A small tide pool glimmers at the edge of the docks. Tiny ripples reflect moonlight in delicate patterns, and perhaps a small fish or crab moves slowly beneath the surface. Watching these, as Plymouth Colony rests beneath a canopy of stars, the village's human inhabitants are largely still, tucked into their cottages and beds. Yet the natural world around them continues its gentle rhythm, filled with subtle movements and soft, soothing sounds that create a quiet, immersive symphony for anyone willing to listen. Tonight, we linger on the soft whispers of the natural world, animals stirring, leaves brushing in the wind, and the gentle chorus of night itself. From the edge of the harbor, a lone owl calls softly, its voice slow and deliberate, echoing faintly through the trees. Its call is not alarming or sudden but measured, a gentle punctuation in the symphony of the night. Perhaps another owl answers in the distance, creating a soft dialogue that drifts across the water and through the village, blending seamlessly with the muted crackle of dying fires in the cottages. Each call is rhythmic, calming, and hypnotic, inviting the mind to slow and observe. In the fields just beyond the cottages, the rustle of small creatures can be heard. Mice or rabbits move softly through the underbrush, their steps light and deliberate, brushing leaves and grass with barely audible whispers. Every motion seems to exist in harmony with the night, a careful choreography that avoids unnecessary noise. Listening closely, one might even hear the faint scuttle of a hedgehog moving over fallen leaves or the soft brush of a fox's tail as it passes silently through the darkness. These subtle movements are the heartbeat of nature, slow and deliberate, designed to ease the mind into serenity. The trees surrounding the colony sway gently with the night breeze, creating a calming, rhythmic rustle. Leaves whisper against one another in a natural melody, some crisp from the season's change, others soft and pliable, bending with the wind. Occasionally, A small branch creaks or snaps, but the sound is softened by the night's ambient calm. The effect is hypnotic, a slow, repeating cadence that mirrors the gentle rise and fall of one's own breathing, coaxing the listener toward relaxation. Near the water's edge, the occasional splash signals the movement of fish beneath the surface, disturbing the mirrored reflections of lanterns and moonlight. These tiny ripples expand outward slowly, their gentle motion echoing the slow pulse of the tide itself. Watching, or imagining, these ripples, one's thoughts naturally slow, following the soft curves of water and the muted shimmer of light across its surface. Each ripple becomes a gentle reminder that the world moves at its own pace, and that there is no need to rush, even in thought. Further into the village, domestic animals add their quiet notes to the night. A dog shifts in its bed, giving a soft sigh before settling back into a deep, even sleep. A cat stretches slowly on a windowsill, arching gently, then curls into a tiny, relaxed ball. Chickens, now roost on low wooden perches, emit the faintest clucking or sighs as they nestle into the warmth of straw. Even the horses in the stables breathe in a slow, rhythmic pattern, their nostrils flaring gently, their soft movements blending with the symphony of the evening. Occasionally, the distant call of a coyote or fox punctuates the gentle sounds of the colony. Their voices are long, slow, and undisturbed by human presence, carrying faintly across fields and forests. There is no alarm here, only natural dialogue between creatures of the night. Listening to these calls, one might imagine the rhythm of nature as a calm, ancient pattern, a world that has moved this way long before the settlers arrived and will continue long after. The wind itself plays its part in this nocturnal symphony. It drifts through the tall grasses, swaying the stalks softly, brushing against fences, and rustling through the leaves of nearby trees. Its touch is gentle and almost imperceptible at times, like a whisper on the skin. When combined with the other sounds, the owl, the rustling creatures, the lap of water, the faint calls of distant wildlife, the wind becomes part of a gentle, continuous melody, a natural lullaby that fills the night with calm. Even the smallest nighttime events contribute to this soothing rhythm. The fall of a pine cone from a branch, the faint tremor of frost cracking against a stone, or the soft flutter of a bat's wings overhead adds texture to the auditory landscape without breaking the serenity. These minute occurrences are reminders of the world's subtle motion, each one deliberate, slow, and harmonious. They encourage patience, awareness, and a gentle slowing of thought. Imagine walking slowly through the outskirts of the village, guided only by the moonlight and the soft chorus of nature. Your footsteps are light, careful, and deliberate, blending with the ambient sounds rather than disturbing them. You notice the reflection of stars in puddles on the path, the faint silhouette of a rabbit pausing in the brush, and the gentle sway of branches overhead. Every movement is slow, considered, and soothing, drawing your attention deeper into the calm rhythm of the night, somewhere along the edge of the forest. You may hear the gentle drumming of a woodpecker settling in its roost or the faint buzz of nocturnal insects. Each sound is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet contributes to the intricate tapestry of night. The combination of water, wind, animal movements, and occasional calls forms a gentle cadence, a lullaby in its natural form. Allowing yourself to listen closely, you might notice your own heartbeat sinking slowly with this natural rhythm, each inhale and exhale matching the pulse of life all around you. Even the moonlight contributes to this tranquil atmosphere. Its soft glow illuminates the edges of leaves, glints off the water, and casts long, muted shadows across the village paths. The combination of light and sound works in harmony, encouraging the mind to follow the gentle pace of nature. Your thoughts, which may have been scattered or restless, begin to slow, folding into the steady, immersive rhythm of the night, as the villagers sleep and the natural world continues its quiet dialogue. The night stretches further, uninterrupted and serene. There is no rush, no urgency, only gentle observation, calm breathing, and the slow, deliberate unfolding of life in Plymouth Colony. The soft chorus of animals, water, and wind becomes a meditation, a reminder that calm and rest are always within reach. Imagine sitting at the edge of a small pond or atop a gentle rise overlooking the harbor, absorbing the sounds and movements around you. The gentle rustle of leaves, the soft splash of fish, the distant calls of nocturnal birds, and the quiet exhalations of domestic animals merge into a lullaby for the senses. Each element reinforces a sense of safety, stillness, and slow, deliberate time. Tonight, the natural world and the colony exist in perfect harmony. The settlers sleep soundly, their children breathing deeply, the fires flicker low in the cottages, and the harbor reflects lanterns and moonlight like calm, silver pools. And in this setting, the gentle sounds of nighttime animals and the quiet rhythm of nature guide the mind and body toward deep relaxation, readying both for sleep. Let your own breathing slow in response. Imagine the soft movements of animals, the gentle sway of water, the rustling of trees, and the distant calls carried by wind and tide. Allow yourself to drift with this rhythm, absorbing the serenity, the safety, and the gentle cadence of Plymouth Colony at night. Here, the world is slow, deliberate, and calm, and you are invited to rest fully within it. As the village of Plymouth Colony rests under a quiet sky, a small, simple chapel sits near the center of the settlement, bathed in pale moonlight. Its wooden walls and steep roof, worn and weathered from many seasons, stand silently among the cottages, lanterns, and gentle shadows of the village. Tonight, we linger here for a few moments, imagining the soft, deliberate movements and quiet reflections of those who visit the chapel at midnight, seeking solace, peace, or simple contemplation. The night air is cool, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke, pine, and the sea beyond. A settler approaches the chapel slowly, careful not to disturb the calm of the village or the sleeping children tucked safely in their beds. Each step is measured, the soft crunch of frost or gravel beneath worn boots blending with the faint whisper of wind through the trees. The path to the chapel is familiar, lined with lanterns that glow softly, casting elongated, golden reflections on the snow-dusted ground. Inside the chapel, the air is still, warm, and filled with quiet anticipation. The flicker of candlelight illuminates the simple wooden pews, the carved pulpit, and the small, painted windows that allow pale moonlight to drift in, forming gentle patterns across the floor. The space is modest, yet its simplicity enhances a sense of calm and focus, drawing attention inward rather than outward. Every corner, every shadow, every gentle reflection contributes to a sense of peace. A lone settler kneels at the front pew, hands folded, head bowed. Their breathing is slow and deliberate, matching the rhythm of the night outside. The prayer is soft, almost inaudible, a quiet reflection on the day past and the hope for tomorrow. There is no urgency, no loud proclamation, only the measured, intimate cadence of one person speaking softly to the universe, to their God, or simply to the quiet within themselves. The candlelight flickers gently across the walls, creating shifting patterns of shadow and illumination that move slowly with each breath of air. These movements are subtle and hypnotic, drawing the eyes to the soft curves of light and shadow, encouraging the mind to slow and follow. Each flicker is like a gentle pulse, a heartbeat of calm, blending seamlessly with the quiet rhythm of thoughts, breath, and the faint sounds of night beyond the chapel doors. Nearby, a few more settlers enter, each careful not to disturb the stillness. Their steps are soft, their gestures slow and deliberate. Some pause briefly, bowing their heads or touching the pews as they pass, acknowledging the sacredness of this space and the quiet concentration of those already present. Each movement adds to the sense of reverence and calm, a shared, silent understanding of respect for both the space and the night. The congregation at midnight is small, intimate, and deliberate. Some stand quietly, others kneel or sit, all listening to the soft, natural sounds that enter the chapel, the faint wind brushing against wooden beams, the distant call of an owl, or the gentle creak of the door as a newcomer arrives. Each sound is absorbed into the ambient calm rather than disrupting it, blending into the rhythm of reflection and prayer. As the settlers engage in quiet meditation or prayer, they may contemplate the simple gifts of life in Plymouth Colony. Gratitude for shelter, food, family, and safety fills their minds and hearts. Memories of the day, small acts of kindness, careful attention to chores, moments of learning, are acknowledged softly, without hurry or judgment. These reflections are deliberate and measured, like slow brushstrokes on a canvas, each one contributing to the overall sense of peace. The chapel itself seems to breathe with the occupants. The wooden floors creak faintly under shifting weight, the candle flames dance gently, and the air carries a delicate warmth from bodies gathered in silent thought. It is a living, breathing sanctuary, a space where the slow cadence of human presence blends with the quiet rhythm of night. Each subtle noise, movement, and reflection adds depth to the calm, creating a serene tapestry of sound, light, and thought. A settler may rise slowly to glance out the small window, noticing the moonlight glinting on frost-covered branches or the distant shimmer of lanterns on the harbor. These moments of observation are quiet, deliberate, and restorative. They serve as a gentle reminder of the wider world, the beauty of nature, and the harmony that exists between the settlers and their environment. Observing in this slow, mindful way encourages the mind to release tension, to pause, and to absorb the stillness of the night. Even the act of turning a page in a small prayer book, adjusting a candle, or crossing oneself is performed with careful attention, each gesture slow and intentional. In this way, every movement, no matter how minor, becomes a meditation, reinforcing the calm, focused atmosphere that fills the chapel. The settlers' hearts and minds align with the gentle rhythm of the night, echoing the slow beat of water at the harbor and the subtle whisper of the wind through trees. Sometimes, a quiet hymn is sung, barely above a whisper. Each note stretches gently, floating slowly through the space, resonating against wooden walls and into the hearts of those present. There is no urgency, no forceful projection, only the natural, deliberate sound of voices moving in harmony with the night. Even those who do not sing aloud are part of the experience, listening with attention and allowing the slow rhythm to penetrate their thoughts. Easing worries and encouraging rest, the settlers may spend long moments in silent reflection, simply breathing with the soft cadence of the chapel and the world outside. These moments are immersive and restorative. The mind, the body, and the spirit are allowed to slow, to release concerns, and to rest in the calm sanctuary of faith, contemplation, and night. There is a sense of continuity here, a quiet connection to both the present moment and the steady pulse of life in the colony. Eventually, one by one, the settlers rise slowly, leaving the chapel with soft steps, careful not to disturb the profound stillness. Outside, the village continues to rest, children breathe evenly in their beds. And the harbor reflects the gentle moonlight as the tides move softly. The night is uninterrupted, serene, and deliberate, carrying with it the sense of calm cultivated inside the small chapel. For those listening now, the chapel at midnight offers more than a place of spiritual reflection. It is a space of profound calm, where slow movements, soft sounds, and measured words converge into a lullaby for the mind. The flicker of candlelight, the gentle hum of thought, and the quiet presence of human care combine to create a perfect rhythm for relaxation, reflection, and the gradual drift into sleep. As we leave the chapel, walking slowly back through the village, the air feels lighter, the night deeper, and the mind more serene. The careful, deliberate routines of Plymouth Colony, prayer, observation, meditation, encourage a sense of harmony that can be carried into one's own thoughts and body. Each inhalation and exhalation follows the gentle cadence of life around the settlers, slowing and softening with each step, each thought, each reflection. Tonight, the chapel stands as a quiet sentinel, offering reassurance and serenity. Its presence reminds us that in the midst of work, uncertainty, and the demands of daily life, there is always space for calm reflection, slow contemplation, and gentle peace. And as the moon continues its watch over Plymouth Colony, the lessons of midnight, patience, stillness, mindfulness, linger, inviting you, too, to rest, reflect, and drift slowly into the embrace of sleep. Outside the cottages, the harbor, and the chapel, Plymouth Colony rests under a sky strewn with countless stars. The world seems to exhale, and the soft night air moves through the village like a quiet, deliberate pulse. Tonight, we pause to listen to the gentle breezes that weave through the streets, over rooftops, and across the harbor, carrying with them the calming whispers of nature, the faint scent of salt and pine, and the soothing rhythm of a village at rest. The breeze arrives softly at first, brushing lightly against rooftops and wooden shingles. It carries the subtle warmth of the day's fading heat, mingling with the cool touch of night. Lanterns sway gently in its path, casting slow, undulating reflections across snow-dusted streets and frozen puddles. Each movement is deliberate and soft, a rhythm that mirrors the pace of life in the colony, careful, measured, and harmonious with the natural world. Through the cottages, the breeze drifts under doors and through small cracks in the windows. It stirs the smoke from dying fires, lifting it gently and letting it mingle with the faint scents of herbs, bread, and warm wood. Inside, the settlers breathe in this calm air, allowing it to flow over their faces and hands, carrying away the lingering warmth of the day and inviting relaxation. The cool, deliberate rhythm of the wind is almost like a lullaby, coaxing muscles to release tension, hearts to slow, and minds to soften. Outside, the breeze rustles the leaves of trees lining the village paths. Each leaf moves softly, brushing against its neighbor, creating a gentle, whispering sound that spreads through the night. Occasionally, a loose branch creaks, or a pinecone falls quietly to the ground, but the overall effect is a calm, consistent melody. These natural sounds blend seamlessly with distant waves, the soft lapping of the harbor, and the occasional call of nocturnal birds, forming a slow, peaceful symphony that carries through the village. The villagers themselves move in harmony with the breeze. A mother leans slightly into the wind as she carries a small basket back from a late chore. Her steps careful, her movements deliberate. A father pauses for a moment near the docks, letting the breeze brush against his face as he observes the swaying lanterns on the water. Each action is slow, intentional, and mindful, guided by the rhythm of the wind and the soft sounds of night. Even the smallest details respond to the gentle air. Smoke spirals lazily from chimneys, following the wind's meandering path. Lanterns tilt ever so slightly, casting shadows that stretch and shift across walls and snow. Loose leaves spiral gently in eddies near the streets, their quiet dance adding a subtle, visual layer to the nighttime symphony. Every movement, though small, contributes to a feeling of calm observation and deliberate attention. Perfect for slowing the mind and inviting rest, at the harbor, the wind moves in unison with the water. Tiny ripples rise and fall across the surface, each carrying a delicate reflection of the moon and lanterns. Boats sway gently, tied to their moorings, as if breathing in rhythm with the night. The breeze carries the faint smell of salt and seaweed, blending with the soft warmth of lanterns and hearths. The combined effect is mesmerizing, a slow, natural melody of movement, light, scent, and sound, designed to soothe the senses. Occasionally, the breeze carries distant sounds from the surrounding woods. The subtle rustle of nocturnal animals, the gentle snapping of a branch, the faint cry of a faraway owl, all are softened and slowed by the wind's passage, forming a calm, immersive atmosphere. Even the wind's own whispering voice seems to encourage patience, contemplation, and rest, gently guiding the mind toward stillness. Through the village, the wind seems almost like a living companion. It passes along fences and rooftops, through narrow alleyways and open fields, wrapping the settlement in a soft, continuous embrace. The rhythm is steady, measured, and reassuring, echoing the slow heartbeat of the colony itself. The air moves in patterns that are natural yet deliberate, each gust softening, each pause extending the sense of calm. In one quiet cottage, a settler tilts their head toward the window, feeling the breeze brush lightly against their cheek. They close their eyes for a moment, inhaling slowly and exhaling just as deliberately. In that brief pause, the wind carries away the lingering thoughts of the day, the small worries, the minor frustrations, and leaves only the quiet, measured serenity of night. This simple act, repeated across homes in the colony, becomes a shared meditation, a communal rhythm that harmonizes the village with the gentle movement of the natural world. Even children, now asleep in their beds, respond to the subtle presence of the wind. The curtains flutter gently in a soft draft, the quilts shift lightly over small bodies, and the rhythmic sounds of swaying trees and distant water seem to carry them deeper into rest. The breeze itself becomes a companion to their dreams, weaving a slow, gentle thread through the quiet tapestry of night. Through narrow lanes and across open spaces, the wind continues its calm journey. It lifts the scent of drying herbs from windowsills, carries the faint aroma of bread from the warm kitchens, and brings with it the lingering warmth of a few last fires. Everywhere it travels, it seems to slow the pace of life, guiding footsteps, thoughts, and breaths into a deliberate, restful rhythm, and as the moon reaches its zenith, the village feels enveloped by the breeze in a way that is both tangible and ethereal. The movement of air, combined with subtle sounds of animals, water, and swaying leaves, creates a layered symphony of calm. There is no rush, no sudden intrusion, only the steady, immersive presence of wind and night, guiding the mind toward serenity. For anyone listening now, the gentle breezes through Plymouth Colony are more than movement of air, they are a slow, deliberate lullaby. They carry the scent, sound, and rhythm of a village at peace. Each gust, each flutter of leaves, each ripple across the harbor serves to calm, soothe, and guide the body and mind into rest. Breathing with the rhythm of the night, one can let go of tension, release lingering thoughts, and sink slowly into relaxation. Tonight, the wind moves deliberately through Plymouth Colony. A soft, unseen companion. It brushes cottages, dances with trees, sways lanterns, and glides across the water with a steady, measured cadence. And in this gentle flow, the village and its inhabitants rest, wrapped in the calm embrace of night. Let yourself breathe with the wind. Feel its slow, soothing presence brushing across your skin, carrying away tension, and inviting your mind to follow its gentle rhythm. Allow the calm to deepen, to settle, and to guide you into the serene, peaceful sleep that Plymouth Colony nurtures so tenderly with every gentle breeze. The night has deepened over Plymouth Colony, and a soft, silver glow from the moon stretches across the harbor. The village lies quiet, each cottage a pool of flickering warmth, while the water reflects the faint light in gentle, undulating ripples. Tonight, a few settlers remain awake, keeping a silent midnight watch over the docks and the boats tied carefully to the harbor, their presence a quiet reassurance rather than a disturbance. The watch is a ritual of slow, deliberate observation. A settler stands near the edge of a dock, hands folded loosely behind their back, eyes tracing the gentle movement of the tide. Each wave rolls calmly against the wooden pilings, a rhythmic pulse that mirrors the quiet, steady heartbeat of the colony. The water glimmers softly under the moonlight, silver lines stretching across its surface, reflecting the glow of distant lanterns swaying gently in the evening breeze. The sound of water is steady and calming, soft lapping, gentle swirls, and the occasional whisper of a rope brushing against a hull. Each small sound seems purposeful, contributing to the quiet symphony of night. Listening closely, one can imagine the tide as a slow, natural metronome, guiding breathing, thought, and movement in a rhythm that encourages stillness and reflection. The boats themselves sway gently, tied securely to the docks. Their masts creak softly in response to the night breeze. A slow, deliberate sound that blends seamlessly with the lapping water. Nets and ropes hang quietly from the rails, occasionally brushing against the deck or each other, adding subtle notes to the harbor's nighttime melody. The presence of the settlers ensures everything remains orderly, each boat secure, each lantern in place, every detail attended to with calm care. Some settlers use this quiet time to check the harbor lights, ensuring they cast the proper glow for early risers or night travelers. Lanterns are adjusted slowly, their reflections shifting gently across the water. Each movement is soft, deliberate, and unhurried, part of a rhythm that mirrors the ebb and flow of the tide. The night offers no rush, only a steady, immersive pace that encourages attention to small, comforting details. Nearby, a cat pads quietly along the dock, its paws silent on the wooden planks. It pauses occasionally, ears twitching, eyes reflecting faint light, before moving again with careful precision. Even this small creature becomes part of the harbor's slow, deliberate symphony, adding to the sense of calm observation that fills the midnight hours. From the harbor, the faint sounds of distant wildlife drift across the water. A gull's call echoes softly, though far enough away to be soothing rather than startling. A fish breaks the surface occasionally, sending ripples outward in slow, expanding circles. Somewhere along the shore, the faint rustle of leaves suggests a small animal passing through the underbrush. Each sound is subtle, soft, and harmonized with the pace of night, providing gentle stimulation for the senses without disturbing rest. The settlers' eyes trace the movement of the water, following the gentle sway of boats and the shimmer of moonlight reflected on the surface. Their minds move slowly in tandem with these rhythms, thoughts drifting quietly like leaves carried by a calm stream. In this reflective state, the watcher becomes both observer and participant in the subtle orchestration of nature. The village, and the harbor, lanterns sway softly in the breeze, their light stretching across the water in long, delicate lines. Shadows shift across the docks and boats in a slow dance, merging with the silver glimmer of moonlight. These moving patterns are hypnotic, inviting a deep, calm awareness of the present moment. Every flicker of light, every movement of water, every quiet creak of rope or wood encourages a slowing of thought, a deliberate, meditative presence. A lone settler leans gently on a railing, hands resting on weathered wood, and breathes in the cool night air. The faint scent of saltwater mingles with smoke and the warmth of the village behind them. Each inhale fills the lungs with serenity, each exhale releases tension. The body aligns with the calm rhythm of the harbor, slow, deliberate, steady. The mind, likewise, becomes unhurried, wandering gently through observation, reflection, and quiet attention to small, beautiful details. The harbor at midnight is not a place of action but of stillness. There is no urgency, no hurry, only deliberate mindfulness. Watching the sway of boats, the gentle lapping of water, and the reflection of lanterns provides a sense of continuity, of order, of comfort. The settlers' calm presence reinforces this atmosphere, transforming the harbor into a sanctuary of quiet focus and meditative observation. The wind drifts over the water, brushing lightly against the dock and rustling the rigging. Its touch is soft and cooling, carrying the faint scent of pine, salt, and earth. The combination of water, wind, and subtle movement encourages the watcher, and the listener imagining themselves in this scene, to relax, to breathe slowly, and to embrace the gentle pace of the night. Occasionally, a distant owl calls, and its voice echoes softly over the water. Far from startling, the call adds another layer to the ambient melody of the harbor. It mingles with water, wind, and swaying lanterns, reinforcing the sense of calm, safety, and deliberate rhythm. Every sound, every motion, every breath taken by the settlers or the natural world contributes to a peaceful, immersive experience. As the night deepens further, the settlers remain quiet, their watch gentle and unhurried. Their movements are minimal, adjusting a rope here, checking a lantern there, but each gesture is deliberate, slow, and rhythmic, enhancing rather than disrupting the calm. Observing them, one notices a serenity born not of inactivity, but of purposeful, thoughtful attention to the world around them. The harbor itself seems to breathe in harmony with the watchers. The gentle rise and fall of water, the soft sway of boats, the delicate flicker of lanterns. All of these elements converge into a slow, immersive rhythm that guides thought and attention towards serenity. The mind, sensing the calm, begins to follow this rhythm naturally. Slowing in response, relaxing, and letting go of the tensions of the day, even the simplest act, watching a rope sway in time with the tide or seeing a small ripple expand across the water, becomes a meditative exercise. The night encourages mindfulness, patience, and calm observation. Each moment is complete in itself, each small detail an invitation to linger, to breathe slowly, and to absorb the gentle presence of the world. By the time the moon reaches its highest point, the midnight watch begins to wane. The settlers, having ensured the harbor is safe and all boats secure, prepare to return quietly to their cottages. Their presence leaves behind an enduring sense of calm, a continuation of the serene rhythm established by nature, the water, and the village. The harbor rests once again, soft, reflective, and steady, ready to greet the early morning with the same deliberate grace. For those listening now, the midnight watch at the harbor is more than a scene of duty, it is a meditation, a lullaby, and an immersive exercise in stillness. Watching the water, observing subtle movements, and listening to the quiet symphony of nature allows the mind to slow, to rest, and to embrace calm. Breathing with the rhythm of tide, lanterns, and gentle wind, one can let go of tension and drift gradually into peaceful sleep. Tonight, Plymouth Colony's harbor rests beneath the moon, watched over quietly by attentive settlers. Its calm waters, gently swaying boats, soft winds, and delicate natural sounds create a sanctuary of peace and reflection. And as you imagine this scene, let your own mind, body, and spirit follow the same gentle rhythm, sinking slowly and comfortably into the restful embrace of night. As Plymouth Colony rests beneath the serene glow of the moon, the cottages and communal buildings are softly illuminated by the gentle flicker of fires and lanterns. Tonight, we slow our pace to observe these quiet sources of light, the hearths glowing warmly, the lamps casting gentle halos, and the subtle dance of shadows along wooden walls and cobblestone paths. Fires and shadows have a way of creating calm, deliberate rhythm, a comforting interplay that invites reflection, mindfulness, and ultimately, restful sleep. In the main hall of a larger cottage, the hearth glows warmly, embers crackling softly. The flames rise and fall slowly, stretching upward, then curling back down in a soft, deliberate dance. The scent of burning wood mixes with the faint aroma of herbs or bread left to cool nearby. Each movement of the flames is hypnotic, encouraging the mind to slow, to follow their gentle motion, and to release the tension of the day. The warmth spreads outward, not only across the room but into the mind, offering comfort and quiet reassurance. Along the walls, shadows stretch and shift with every flicker. A wooden beam casts a long, soft silhouette across the floor, swaying gently as the fire breathes. The shadows are slow and deliberate, neither sharp nor jarring, but fluid and calm, creating a visual rhythm that mirrors the gentle rise and fall of the flame. Watching these movements, one's thoughts begin to follow the same steady cadence, drifting with each subtle change, each soft sway, and each muted glimmer. Small lanterns placed on tables or hanging from hooks add to the serene dance of light and shadow. Their glow is steady yet alive, reflecting in the polished surfaces of wooden utensils, tables, and the faintly worn floors. Occasionally, a soft draft causes a lantern to sway, stretching its light across the room in a new pattern, elongating shadows, and creating fleeting shapes. These changes are slow and deliberate, never startling, and they invite quiet attention, contemplation, and relaxation. Outside the cottages, the village pathways are similarly transformed. Lanterns cast golden circles of light on snow-dusted streets or packed earth, while trees and fences create gentle shadows that stretch toward the still water of the harbor. The interplay of darkness and illumination forms a soft, immersive visual melody, encouraging the eyes to move slowly, following the shapes and curves, and allowing the mind to settle into a meditative state. Even the smallest cottages contribute to this calm tableau. A single candle flickers on a windowsill, its light reflected faintly on frost-covered glass. Shadows inside the room move ever so slightly, perhaps a hand adjusting a quilt, a small child shifting in sleep, or the slow turning of a page in a prayer book. These minor motions, softened and elongated by flickering light, create a sense of calm activity, deliberate, gentle, and restorative. The warmth from each hearth rises softly, mingling with the cool night air that drifts through slightly open windows or cracks in the doors. This balance of warm light and cool breeze enhances the tactile sense of the evening, creating a slow, immersive experience for the senses. Breathing deeply, one might imagine the soft contrast of heat and cool, flame and shadow, inviting the body to relax and the mind to follow. In communal spaces, fires serve as centers of calm gathering. Perhaps a small group of settlers sits nearby, heads bowed over simple tasks, repairing a net, mending clothes, or quietly sharing stories of the day. Each movement is measured and deliberate, every sound softened by the warm ambience. The gentle interplay of their activity, the flicker of the flames, and the sway of shadows forms a slow, comforting rhythm, like a lullaby in motion, grounding and serene. Even at the harbor, distant cottages and lanterns cast soft reflections across the water. Shadows of masts, sails, and trees mingle with the glow of lanterns, stretching and shifting with the tide. Each flicker, each movement, each subtle change in light contributes to the tranquil rhythm of the night. Observing these reflections, the mind can follow the slow patterns, letting go of restless thoughts and embracing calm attention. The natural world participates as well. The gentle wind carries a faint rustle of leaves, a soft sigh through rigging, or the occasional distant call of an owl. These subtle noises blend with the flickering lights and shadows, creating a sensory symphony that is both immersive and meditative. It is a world where all elements, light, shadow, warmth, and sound, cooperate to slow the mind, ease tension, and encourage rest. Sitting quietly by a hearth or window, a settler might notice how shadows stretch across walls, elongating as the flame flickers and then contracting as it settles. The slow dance of light and dark draws attention inward, a gentle reminder of the passage of time and the steady rhythm of the night. Each movement is deliberate, measured, and calming, echoing the broader tranquility of the village. Even the simplest act, stirring the embers, adjusting a candle, or letting the smoke drift upward, becomes a ritual of mindfulness. The flames respond slowly, the shadows stretch and shift, and the observer's mind follows suit, slowing and softening with each breath. It is in these quiet, deliberate moments that the connection between physical warmth, visual rhythm, and mental calm becomes most apparent, offering an immersive path toward rest and relaxation. Outside, the wind carries the faint scent of smoke and the gentle warmth of fires to the harbor and surrounding fields. Lanterns sway gently, casting long, soft shadows across the village paths, while the faint shimmer of moonlight mingles with golden light. The combination of natural and human illumination creates a layered visual tapestry that is slow, immersive, and calming. Each element, fire, shadow, wind, and light, moves deliberately, reinforcing the pace of rest that permeates the colony. For those listening now, the fires and shadows of Plymouth Colony's cottages and public spaces provide more than warmth, they offer a visual and sensory lullaby. The slow dance of light and dark, combined with soft flickers, gentle warmth, and subtle shadows, encourages the mind to follow their rhythm, releasing tension, and embracing calm. Each detail, whether large or small, contributes to an immersive environment that guides thoughts, body, and spirit toward restful sleep. Tonight, the village glows gently in the darkness, each hearth, lantern, and candle creating its own soft melody of warmth and shadow. Settlers rest, children dream, and the night moves slowly, deliberately calm. And as you imagine this scene, allow your own mind to follow the flicker, the glow, the shadow, and the gentle rhythm of Plymouth Colony's fires, drifting slowly into comfort, calm, and deep, restorative sleep. As Plymouth Colony rests beneath the silver glow of the moon, the quiet village is alive with a softer, subtler soundtrack, the gentle hum of nighttime insects and the distant songs of nocturnal animals. Tonight, we slow our focus to these delicate, almost imperceptible sounds, letting them guide us into a deep, peaceful state, perfect for calm reflection and restful sleep. Crickets begin their symphony with a slow, rhythmic chirping. Their calls are not hurried but deliberate, spaced evenly, forming a natural metronome that sets the pace for the night. Listening closely, one can detect the faint variations between individual insects, the subtle difference in tone, duration, and pitch, which creates a layered, soothing melody. The sound is steady, hypnotic, and immersive, drawing attention to the gentle rhythms of life that continue even when humans sleep. Across the fields and in the spaces between cottages, the night air carries these tiny vibrations, blending them with other soft noises, the distant rustle of leaves, the gentle sway of grasses in the breeze, and the faint lapping of water against the harbor's edge. Each sound is deliberate and calming, creating a tapestry of subtle auditory details that wrap the village in serenity. The settlers themselves, nestled in their beds, are cocooned in this natural symphony, each soft chirp and whisper contributing to an atmosphere of deep calm. Occasionally, a frog calls from the pond near the edge of the village. Its slow, low croak adds depth to the night's chorus, contrasting with the high-pitched, rhythmic chirping of crickets. The combination of sounds, high and low, fast and slow, near and distant, forms a layered melody that is both immersive and meditative. The mind, listening closely, begins to slow its own internal pace, aligning with the measured cadence of nature. In the shadows of the forest, owls and night birds contribute their occasional calls. Each hoot is deliberate and unhurried, echoing faintly across fields and the harbor. The sound travels softly through the night, carrying a sense of watchfulness and calm. It is a natural punctuation to the steady background of crickets, frogs, and rustling leaves, adding texture and depth to the auditory landscape without disrupting its serenity. Even smaller movements, the brushing of a leaf against a fence post, the tiny scuffle of a mouse through the underbrush, or the flutter of a moth against a lantern, add subtle rhythms to the night. These sounds are barely perceptible individually, but collectively they enhance the immersive quality of the night's symphony, filling silence with soft, natural movement. Each sound invites careful attention and deliberate listening, slowing the mind and encouraging relaxation. The wind drifts gently across fields and between cottages, carrying the layered songs of crickets, frogs, and birds. Its soft presence links the village to the surrounding natural world, smoothing transitions between the gentle melodies. Lanterns and fires flicker in response to tiny gusts, stretching and shifting shadows across walls and paths. The interplay of light, wind, and natural sound creates a slow, immersive rhythm, perfectly aligned with the deliberate, unhurried pace of the village at night. A settler walking quietly along a path might pause to listen, leaning lightly against a fence post. Their attention focuses on the tiny variations in the night's song, the slightly longer chirp of one cricket, the pause before the next frog croaks, the gentle rustle of grasses stirred by the breeze. These small details form a natural meditation, guiding attention inward and encouraging mindfulness. Each sound, subtle and deliberate, becomes a gentle cue to slow breathing, soften muscles, and release tension. The chorus of the night is continuous, yet ever-changing. Crickets vary their patterns, frogs shift position, owls occasionally hoot, and leaves rustle in subtle sequences. This dynamic variation keeps the auditory landscape engaging while remaining calm, promoting a meditative state that encourages mental stillness and deep relaxation. Listeners may find their own thoughts drifting in harmony with these rhythms, gently moving without force or urgency. Even in the heart of the village, the insects' songs are present. From windows, the faint hum of crickets drifts indoors, mixing with the subtle noises of settled cottages, the soft breathing of children, the occasional creak of wooden beams, the muted crackle of dying embers in a hearth. The natural world and human life exist in quiet balance, creating a shared, immersive lullaby that permeates both indoors and out. The harmony of crickets and night songs extends to the edges of the harbor. Small waves lap gently against the boats, their sounds blending with distant frogs and the occasional owl call. Ripples expand slowly across the water, catching reflections of lanterns and moonlight. The combination of sound, movement, and reflection creates a multi-layered sensory experience, where each detail encourages careful, slow observation and immersive calm. Settlers often pause during night chores to appreciate these sounds. Even simple acts, adjusting a lantern, securing a line, or tending a small fire, become part of the auditory meditation. Each motion aligns with the surrounding rhythms, reinforcing the slow, deliberate, and restorative pace of the night. Over time, both action and observation merge into a gentle flow, soothing the mind and body. Even the faintest insect sounds, unnoticed during the day, take on significance at night. The subtle pattern of a cricket's chirp, a frog's croak, or the flutter of wings becomes an invitation to mindfulness, guiding attention to the present and encouraging slow, measured breathing. The combination of natural sound, movement, and soft human presence forms an immersive, sleep-inducing environment, perfectly suited for the gentle ebb and flow of thoughts toward rest. As the moon arcs across the sky, the symphony of crickets and night songs continues, steady and calming. The village remains at peace, its inhabitants cocooned in warmth and safety. Children sleep, settlers rest, and the natural world provides a gentle, continuous meditation. The layered sounds of the night create a rhythm that is steady, deliberate, and immersive, guiding listeners into a relaxed, contemplative state. Tonight, as you imagine the fields, forests, and harbor alive with subtle insect songs and distant animal calls, allow your mind to follow the slow rhythm. Listen to the patterns, feel the gentle rise and fall of breath, and let each soft chirp, croak, and hoot guide you further into relaxation. The night is a living lullaby, a carefully orchestrated blend of sound, rhythm, and calm, inviting the body and mind to drift effortlessly toward restful sleep. As the night begins to yield to the earliest hints of dawn, Plymouth Colony is cloaked in a soft, gentle mist. The world seems slower here, softened by the delicate veil of fog that drifts across the fields, the harbor, and the village streets. Tonight, we linger in this quiet, dreamlike hour, allowing the mist to guide our minds into stillness, reflection, and deep relaxation. The mist rolls in gradually, almost imperceptibly at first. It hugs the ground, clinging to grasses, cottages, and fences. Each blade of grass glistens faintly with dew, the droplets catching what little moonlight remains and scattering it like tiny, shimmering stars. Shadows become muted, edges softened, and the world takes on a velvety texture that seems to slow time itself. The village breathes quietly beneath this soft layer, and so does the mind of anyone observing it, as we walk slowly along a path that winds between fields and cottages. The mist wraps gently around our ankles, brushing softly against our hands and faces. The air carries the faint scent of damp earth, salt from the nearby harbor, and the subtle aroma of winter herbs left to dry near cottage windows. Each inhale is cooling and calming, each exhale releases the tension of the day. The mist, soft and deliberate, encourages the body and mind to slow in response. The fields beyond the village appear dreamlike under the fog. Crops stand muted and silent, their shapes softened by the haze. Occasionally, a solitary tree emerges from the mist, its limbs reaching upward as if grasping the first rays of the rising sun. Shadows are elongated and diffused, dancing slowly in response to the faint wind. This combination of light, mist, and shadow creates a gentle, immersive environment where the eye and mind can wander slowly, absorbing calm with every step. The cottages themselves take on a quiet, ethereal beauty. Roofs glisten faintly with dew, wooden beams appear softened, edges rounded by the veil of mist. Smoke from a few remaining fires rises lazily, blending seamlessly with the fog, forming gentle, curling patterns that stretch toward the sky. Lanterns in windows cast warm, inviting circles of light, diffused by the mist, creating halos that seem almost magical against the muted backdrop of the landscape. From the harbor, the water mirrors the mist in delicate waves. Boats tied to the docks appear ghost-like, their outlines softened, details muted. The gentle lapping of water on wooden hulls becomes a slow, deliberate rhythm, perfectly harmonizing with the quiet sigh of wind through the mist-covered fields. Lanterns on the docks cast faint reflections across the surface, moving softly with each ripple, blending with the fog in a calm, meditative display. Birds stir quietly in the trees and fields, their early morning songs soft and deliberate, harmonizing with the subdued palette of the mist. A heron glides slowly over the harbor, its wings brushing the air with minimal sound, each movement deliberate and weightless. Even the smallest creatures, a rabbit hopping softly through a field, an insect clinging to a blade of grass, contribute to the rhythm of the morning, all moving with gentle, deliberate grace that encourages calm and attentiveness. Settlers begin to rise from their cottages, but their movements are slow and careful, guided by the soft touch of the mist. A mother steps quietly onto her porch, brushing the dew from the rail with deliberate, gentle motions. A father walks toward the fields, adjusting his coat and boots with measured care. Even these early morning chores become a form of mindful meditation. Each action performed deliberately, harmonizing with the softened pace of the fog-laden landscape. Paths between cottages are quiet, lined with the muted shapes of fences, trees, and snow-covered stones. Each step is muffled by the dense, damp air, encouraging careful, deliberate movement. Footfalls blend seamlessly with the subtle creak of a gate, the distant ripple of the harbor, or the faint call of a waking bird. Every sound is absorbed into the tranquil atmosphere, reinforcing the calm, immersive rhythm of the morning. The mist seems to slow not only the eye and body but the mind as well. Thoughts drift more leisurely, unconstrained by the usual pace of the day. Each inhalation, each exhalation, aligns naturally with the gentle, flowing presence of fog, the movement of air and water, and the subtle sway of trees and crops. The village, the settlers, and the natural world all exist in slow, harmonious balance, creating a peaceful meditation for anyone observing or imagining this scene. As the sun rises, its pale light begins to filter through the mist. The fog takes on subtle colors, soft golds, muted pinks, and pale blues, forming a gentle, shifting canvas that stretches across the fields and rooftops. Shadows remain soft and elongated, dancing lightly with the moving haze. The interplay of light and fog enhances the slow rhythm of the village, encouraging a gradual awakening that is calm, measured, and restorative. Even small details, the glimmer of dew on a fence post, the gentle sway of a willow branch, or the faint sparkle on a boat's hull, draw the eye and attention in a slow, meditative flow. These subtle observations invite reflection, mindfulness, and a deliberate slowing of thought. They are reminders that the world, even in its smallest details, moves with rhythm and purpose, offering calm and reassurance to those who pause to notice. By the time the mist begins to lift, the village is fully awake but still immersed in the calm, deliberate pace set by the fog. Settlers move with gentle care, children stretch and yawn in the warmth of their cottages, and the harbor shimmers with soft reflections of lanterns and early sunlight. The gentle, immersive experience of the mist lingers, leaving behind a sense of quiet mindfulness and serenity that carries into the day. For those listening now, the mist over Plymouth Colony's fields is more than a visual scene, it is a slow, immersive lullaby for the mind. The softened light, muted shadows, and gentle movement of the landscape guide attention inward, encouraging deliberate breathing, mental stillness, and a sense of peace. By observing the quiet rhythms of nature and human life in the fog, the listener can release tension and drift gradually into calm relaxation. Tonight, the village rests beneath a soft, silver haze, its cottages, fields, and harbor all bathed in dreamlike light. The mist invites us to slow our pace, to observe, and to breathe deliberately. It reminds us that the quiet, gentle moments of the world are often the most profound, offering rest, reflection, and calm. And as you imagine yourself wandering slowly through these misty fields, let your mind follow the gentle rhythm of Plymouth Colony, drifting gradually into peaceful, restorative sleep. As the mist slowly lifts from Plymouth Colony, the first signs of morning unfold gently across the village. The cottages glimmer with soft reflections of sunlight on dew-dampened roofs, and the harbor sparkles faintly as the waves catch the early light. The settlers begin their morning routines, but in this sleepy, peaceful colony, every task is performed deliberately, slowly, and with care. Tonight, or rather in this gentle morning, we move with them, observing, listening, and letting the calm rhythm of these chores guide us into quiet reflection. The village stirs quietly. A mother opens her door and steps onto the porch, inhaling the cool, damp air. She brushes dew from the wooden railing with careful movements. Her hands moving deliberately, almost meditatively. Each breath of morning air carries the subtle sense of damp earth, pine from nearby woods, and the faint sweetness of herbs drying on windowsills. The rhythm of her movements, paired with her slow, steady breaths, sets the tone for a morning that is unhurried, measured, and deeply calming. Inside the cottages, small fires are stoked gently, embers coaxed back into a warm glow. The crackle of wood is soft and intermittent, punctuating the quiet of the dawn. Settlers move with intention as they prepare for the day, kneading dough slowly, tending to kettles, or sweeping floors in careful, methodical strokes. Each motion is deliberate, almost ritualistic, a dance of productivity in harmony with the natural pace of the morning. Even the simplest acts, rolling a bread dough, stacking firewood, or pouring water into a pail, become meditative exercises, blending action and mindfulness. Beyond the cottages, the village paths are alive with slow, deliberate activity. Fathers and older children carry baskets of supplies to the harbor, their footsteps muffled by the dew-softened ground. They adjust ropes and sails on the gently swaying boats, each knot tied with precision and care. Lanterns still burn softly, their warm glow reflected on damp planks and in shallow puddles, creating an atmosphere of quiet illumination. The combination of movement, light, and water forms a steady, immersive rhythm that invites calm observation. Fields surrounding the village hum with subtle activity. Settlers tend crops with measured gestures, digging, planting, and watering in a rhythm that is both purposeful and gentle. The sound of hoes slicing through soil and the soft rustle of plants in the morning breeze is steady and unhurried, forming a natural symphony of sound that mirrors the slow awakening of the colony. Even distant animals, the soft lowing of cows, or the gentle bleating of goats, add to the immersive calm of this early hour. In the harbor, boats bob slowly on the water. Men check nets and ropes, untangle lines, and adjust sails with deliberate movements. The sound of the water lapping against hulls is rhythmic and soothing, blending with the occasional creak of rigging or faint call of a gull. Every motion, every sound, is measured, reinforcing the unhurried pace of the morning. Observing this, the mind naturally slows, following the gentle, deliberate rhythms of life along the docks. The children, still emerging from sleep, move at their own gentle pace. They gather small kindling for fires, carry water in carefully balanced buckets, or help tend small animals. Each action is performed slowly, without rush, as if the morning itself encourages patience and mindfulness. Their quiet chatter blends with the ambient sounds of the village. Soft and melodic, like a gentle undercurrent to the main rhythm of labor and observation, even the wind participates in this calm orchestration. It drifts lightly across cottages, fields, and the harbor, carrying the faint scent of saltwater, earth, and pine. Its gentle movement rustles leaves and grasses, shifts loose fabric on drying lines, and bends the tops of crops with minimal force. The interplay of wind and activity becomes a slow, immersive rhythm that encourages the body and mind to move in tandem with the natural world, aligning breath, attention, and motion with the steady pace of the colony. At the bakery or communal hearth, the smell of fresh bread mingles with the soft scent of wood smoke. A settler lifts a loaf gently from the oven, its crust warm and fragrant. The slow, careful handling of the bread reflects the rhythm of the morning, deliberate, mindful, and restorative. Each small action, measuring, kneading, shaping, offers a chance for deliberate focus, grounding attention in simple, productive movement. Even the smallest tasks hold significance in this calm rhythm. A woman tends a small garden, watering each plant with careful precision, noticing the faint tremble of leaves in the morning breeze. A man repairs a fence, each hammer strike measured and deliberate, echoing softly through the village. These acts, repetitive and gentle, as the sun begins its slow descent and the morning chores give way to afternoon quiet, Plymouth Colony prepares for a different kind of rhythm. In cottages and communal halls, fires are stoked gently once more, their soft glow casting warmth across wooden beams and worn floors. This is the hour of stories, the calm, reflective time when settlers gather near the hearth to share gentle tales, quiet reflections, and memories of days past. Tonight, we sit with them, allowing the warmth of the fire and the soothing cadence of their words to guide us into a state of calm, deliberate relaxation. The hearth itself is central to the room, a glowing heart of warmth and light. Embers crackle softly. Each pop a subtle punctuation in the quiet murmur of conversation. Smoke curls lazily upward, mingling with the faint scent of herbs or recently baked bread. The flames cast long, soft shadows along walls and furniture, creating a gentle, hypnotic dance of light and dark. Settlers sit close, their faces illuminated by the fire's glow, relaxed and attentive as the day winds slowly toward evening. Stories are shared in quiet, unhurried tones. A father recounts the slow, careful journey to the harbor in the early morning mist, describing the shimmer of lanterns and the soft sway of the boats. His voice rises and falls gently, measured and deliberate, drawing listeners into a calm, reflective state. Children listen with rapt attention, not with excitement or fear, but with the serene curiosity that comes from slow, immersive storytelling. Each word encourages mindfulness, every pause invites reflection, and the rhythm of the narrative mirrors the gentle flicker of the flames. Another settler shares a tale of the fields, where dew clung to crops and the mist softened the shapes of fences and trees. His movements are slow as he gestures toward the fire, tracing the imagined path of the morning light across imagined landscapes. Listeners follow with their eyes and imagination, absorbing the soft cadence of his speech and the quiet drama of ordinary, meaningful events. There is no rush. No urgency, only the deliberate unfolding of moments, inviting calm and gentle reflection. Even the children participate, recounting small adventures or discoveries, a bird spotted near the harbor, a rabbit hopping along the edge of the field, or a particularly bright star glimpsed through the fading daylight. Their voices are soft, careful, and rhythmic, adding another layer to the immersive tapestry of sound and imagery in the room. Each story, no matter how small, becomes a lullaby in words, carrying the listeners further into serenity. The fire responds as well, its flames rising and falling with a deliberate, hypnotic rhythm. Shadows stretch and shift with every flicker, enhancing the cadence of storytelling. The combination of visual movement and gentle speech creates a multi-sensory lullaby. The mind is engaged but relaxed, the eyes are soothed by the soft glow and slow shadows, and the ears follow the deliberate, measured pace of spoken words. Outside, the faint sound of the harbor or distant fields continues to underscore the calm. Waves lap softly, wind brushes against trees, and small animals rustle quietly in the underbrush. These subtle noises merge with the warmth of the fire and the low hum of conversation, forming a layered soundscape that encourages immersive attention and gentle mental slowing. Each element, human voice, flame, and ambient nature, blends seamlessly to create a sanctuary of calm. Settlers who have finished their chores might stretch or move quietly about the room, adjusting a blanket, shifting a log in the fire, or pouring a cup of tea. Each motion is measured, deliberate, and unhurried, adding to the meditative pace of the evening. Even seemingly minor actions, turning a page in a book, knitting slowly, or tracing patterns on a table, become part of the rhythm, reinforcing the sense of peace and deliberate, gentle movement. Some tales are historical, recounting small, overlooked events from the colony's past. Others are personal, reflecting on family, friends, or simple daily occurrences. Each is told with calm intention, slow pacing, and descriptive imagery, allowing listeners to visualize and immerse themselves fully. The stories are never rushed, there is space for reflection between sentences, for silence to fall and for imagination to wander gently. The interplay of stories, shadows, and warm light creates a hypnotic pattern. Eyes follow the flickering flames, ears track the deliberate cadence of speech, the mind drifts along narrative threads that are calm, immersive, and deliberate. This deliberate slowness encourages breathing to align with the rhythm of the fire and storytelling. Inhale softly, exhale deliberately, and let each word, each crackle, each shadow guide relaxation further. Even the pauses in conversation are meaningful. The hush between sentences, the gentle crackle of embers, and the faint hum of the evening wind outside provide space for the imagination to expand. Listeners might picture the harbor mist, the soft sway of crops in the fields, or the slow march of clouds across the sky. These mental images, evoked with care and attention to calm pacing, support a gradual release of tension and a deepening sense of serenity. As twilight deepens, stories become shorter and more reflective. Parents speak softly, reminding children of simple lessons learned in daily life: patience, care, observation, and mindfulness. These reflections are gentle and unhurried, delivered in soft tones that match the flicker of the fire. They encourage a peaceful acceptance of the day's end and a deliberate shift toward rest. Outside, the sun sinks lower, painting the mist with soft amber and pale violet. Shadows grow long, stretching across fields and rooftops. The village quiets further, leaving the subtle sounds of the evening, water lapping at the harbor, leaves rustling in the wind, distant calls of nocturnal animals, as companions to the warmth and comfort of the hearth. The combination of visual and auditory calm, coupled with the rhythmic cadence of storytelling, encourages a full-body sense of relaxation. By the time night fully returns to the village, the tales by the hearth have drawn to a close. Settlers tuck children into bed. Extinguish or dim lanterns, and allow the fire to burn low, leaving a soft glow and gentle warmth in the room. The lingering rhythm of storytelling, flame, and shadows remains, guiding listeners toward an unhurried, reflective end of day. The stories themselves, though finished, echo in the mind, reinforcing calm, mindfulness, and gentle relaxation. For those listening now, the tales by the hearth provide more than entertainment, they are a slow, immersive meditation. The deliberate pacing, descriptive imagery, and warm interplay of firelight and sound encourage a state of mental and physical calm. Each story, each pause, each flicker of flame invites the listener to slow breathing. Relax muscles, and allow thoughts to drift gently into calm reflection or sleep. Tonight, as Plymouth Colony rests in the glow of fires and shadows, its inhabitants wrapped in warmth and gentle conversation, imagine yourself seated near the hearth. Listen to the measured cadence of voices, watch the hypnotic dance of flames, and allow your mind to follow the deliberate, immersive rhythm. Let the warmth, stories, and soft ambient sounds carry you slowly toward serene, restorative sleep, where imagination and calm coexist in perfect harmony. As the sun dips below the horizon and twilight settles over Plymouth Colony, a profound stillness envelopes the village. The air grows cooler, the shadows lengthen, and the soft glow of fires and lanterns guides the eye and heart toward reflection. Tonight, we linger with the settlers in this quiet hour, observing the gentle rhythms of thought, contemplation, and prayer, moments that are deliberate, immersive, and deeply calming. Inside cottages, the hearth glows warmly, its soft light stretching long shadows across walls and floors. Settlers kneel quietly near the fire, heads bowed in thought or prayer. The air is filled with a subtle mixture of smoke, herbs, and the lingering aroma of evening meals. Each breath taken in this calm space encourages relaxation, slowing the heartbeat and softening the mind. In these quiet moments, attention is drawn inward, to the gentle stirrings of gratitude, hope, and reflection. Even the simplest gestures carry weight in this hour. A hand brushes gently over a family Bible, a small sigh escapes lips in contemplation, or eyes close slowly to imagine distant fields, the gentle sway of crops, or the calm waters of the harbor. Each motion is deliberate, unhurried, and meditative, reinforcing the overall sense of calm and focus. The settlers' actions, measured and meaningful, serve as a guide for the mind, encouraging slow, deliberate attention and inward reflection. Outside, the village is muted, its usual bustle replaced by a quiet hush. Lanterns cast pools of warm light on cottages and pathways, diffused by the cool evening air. The harbor is still, water reflecting the faint glimmer of lanterns and stars. Crickets begin their night songs again, subtle and rhythmic, blending with the soft rustle of leaves in the gentle evening breeze. The sounds, quiet and deliberate, enhance the settlers' moments of reflection, forming a natural symphony that encourages meditative focus. Families gather, sitting closely near fires or on benches outside cottages. Conversations are soft, deliberate, and thoughtful. Elders share reflections from their day or recount small lessons learned over seasons past. Children listen quietly, absorbing not only the words but the slow rhythm of speech, the measured pauses, and the careful attention of those speaking. Each story and reflection is an invitation to calm observation, encouraging a slow mental pace that mirrors the unhurried rhythm of the evening. Quiet prayer, both spoken and unspoken, fills the air in subtle waves. Settlers offer thanks for a safe day, guidance for the challenges ahead, or simply the peace of the moment. These prayers are gentle, whispered, and measured, contributing to the tranquil atmosphere. Their deliberate pacing allows the listener to follow the cadence of thought and breath, aligning with the rhythm of their own body, and fostering a sense of inner calm and connection. Even the small tasks performed in this hour are approached with mindfulness. A mother arranges herbs for drying, a father gently sweeps the floor near the hearth, or a child folds blankets carefully for the night. Each action is slow, deliberate, and intentional, reflecting the broader pace of reflection and quiet prayer. Every movement becomes a meditation, reinforcing focus, calm, and restorative attention to the present moment. In communal spaces, soft murmurs of conversation, prayer, and reflection blend with the gentle crackle of fires. Shadows sway across walls, the light shifting with every flicker of the flames. The interplay of visual, auditory, and tactile details forms a multisensory lullaby. Eyes follow the movement of shadows, ears track the gentle cadence of speech, and the mind drifts along a path of calm reflection. It is in these quiet, deliberate moments that the settlers, and those imagining them, find a deep sense of serenity. Nature participates in this quiet ritual as well. Evening birds call softly, the wind carries faint scents of saltwater and earth, and distant nocturnal creatures begin to stir. Each subtle sound complements the deliberate human activity, forming an ambient backdrop that supports meditation and reflection. The harmony of human and natural rhythms encourages a sense of timelessness. A slow, immersive pace where thought and feeling can soften and release tension. Evening reflection in Plymouth Colony is not solely spiritual, it is also a form of mental and emotional restoration. Settlers review their day gently, acknowledging successes and lessons learned, while letting go of minor frustrations. This process, conducted slowly and deliberately, encourages self-awareness and calm. Paired with prayer, storytelling, and observation of the natural world, it creates a holistic rhythm of mind and body aligned with the peaceful cadence of village life. The twilight sky gradually darkens, stars beginning to pierce the soft purple and indigo hues. Lanterns glow more warmly against the deepening night. Fires flicker steadily, and shadows stretch long and deliberate across cottages and streets. Settlers settle into the rhythm of this final hour before sleep, slow breaths, deliberate thoughts, and the immersive sensation of calm. Each moment contributes to an overall sense of stillness, guiding the mind and body toward restful preparation for night. For those listening now, the settlers' evening reflections and quiet prayers provide a gentle model for slowing the mind. The deliberate pacing, gentle gestures, and soft, meditative sounds encourage attention to the present moment, fostering relaxation and mental calm. The interplay of light, shadow, sound, and breath becomes a meditative rhythm. A gentle lullaby for those seeking rest. As night fully embraces Plymouth Colony, fires burn low, prayers fade into silent reflection, and shadows settle. The village rests in calm harmony, each inhabitant cocooned in warmth, safety, and quiet awareness. The patterns of thought, breath, and gentle action linger, encouraging anyone observing or imagining these moments to follow the deliberate, restorative rhythm into deep relaxation or sleep. Tonight, as you picture Plymouth Colony's cottages, harbor, and fields bathed in twilight, let the calm rhythm of reflection and quiet prayer guide your mind and body. Imagine slow, deliberate breathing, soft, meditative movements, and the gentle cadence of thought in harmony with the village's evening. Allow yourself to drift gradually into a state of peace, serenity, and restorative sleep, where the rhythms of the past guide you gently into rest. As the evening deepens and twilight fully fades, Plymouth Colony rests under a blanket of calm, darkening skies. The village settles into its nighttime rhythm, while the harbor begins to take on a quiet, gentle glow. Lanterns flicker softly along the docks, their light reflected in the slow-moving waters, creating a serene and immersive scene. Tonight, we drift with the colony's harbor, letting the subtle interplay of light, water, and shadow guide our minds into calm reflection and restful relaxation. The first thing one notices upon approaching the harbor is the soft glimmer of lanterns. Placed along docks, hanging from masts, and nestled near cottages by the water's edge, they cast gentle, warm pools of light. The reflections ripple slowly across the surface, carried by the faint movement of tide and breeze. Each shimmer and ripple is deliberate, hypnotic, inviting the mind to follow the gentle oscillations. The flickering light, muted by darkness, soothes the eyes and calms the spirit. Boats tied to the docks bob lightly in response to the soft, steady motion of the water. Their outlines are softened by the evening haze, lantern light, and distant shadows of trees. Each gentle sway mirrors the rhythm of calm breathing, offering a visual lullaby that encourages relaxation. Observers may find their attention drawn to the slow arcs of movement, each one a meditation in motion. Quiet and deliberate, echoing the soft cadence of the village settling into night, water itself plays a role in this peaceful scene. Small waves lap against wooden hulls, creating a rhythmic, soothing sound. Occasionally, a ripple catches the reflection of lantern light, creating tiny sparks that dance across the surface before fading gently. This interplay of sound and visual shimmer mirrors the natural rhythms of the human body, slowing the heartbeat and drawing the mind into deliberate focus and calm. Settlers who remain at the harbor move slowly, carefully, and without urgency. A fisherman adjusts a net, smoothing it over a boat's side with deliberate motions. Another checks a lantern's flame, ensuring it continues to burn steadily without jostling the soft reflection on the water. Every action is measured and purposeful, creating a subtle harmony between human movement and natural rhythms. This deliberate attention to detail reinforces the immersive calm of the evening harbor. The sounds of the night enhance this tranquil tableau. Crickets and nocturnal insects hum softly in the nearby grasses and trees. As night deepens over Plymouth Colony, the moon rises slowly above the horizon, spilling its gentle silver light across the village, fields, and harbor. The world feels quieter, softer, and dreamlike under its glow. Tonight, we drift with the settlers as the moonlight paints the landscape, guiding us through calm reflections and immersive, gentle rhythms that ease the mind and body towards sleep. The moon casts long, silvery shadows across cottages and fences, softening edges and smoothing textures. Roofs glisten faintly with dew, and the water of the harbor becomes a shimmering mirror, reflecting the moon's luminous arc. Every ripple, every wavelet, captures and scatters this light in slow, hypnotic patterns. The reflection moves delicately across the surface, rising and falling with the gentle sway of boats, lapping softly against wooden docks. Observing it slowly encourages the mind to follow its rhythm, breathing and relaxing in harmony with the gentle undulations. Settlers wander outdoors in quiet contemplation. A father walks along the harbor, lantern extinguished, relying solely on the soft moonlight to guide his steps. Each footfall is deliberate, measured, and careful, in harmony with the stillness of the night. He pauses occasionally to observe the water, the boats, and the shimmering reflections, drawing a deep, calming breath. In this slow, immersive observation, both body and mind align with the tranquil pace of the evening. Children, wrapped in light blankets or cloaks, watch the moonlight play across the fields. Their eyes follow the slow shimmer on the harbor water, the gentle sway of crops, and the silvery outlines of trees. Even in their quiet curiosity, their movements are unhurried, each gesture a meditation, mirroring the deliberate pace of nature and village life. The moonlight illuminates not only the physical world but also the mind's inner landscape, encouraging calm, focused attention and gentle reflection. The harbor itself is serene under the moon's glow. Boats sway lightly, lanterns long extinguished, leaving only the reflection of the moon to guide their outlines. The water ripples softly, echoing the subtle rhythm of the night wind. Occasionally, a seagull or nocturnal bird calls from a distant tree, its sound absorbed and softened by the quietude of the evening. Each faint noise complements the moonlit stillness, forming a layered soundscape that encourages meditative attention and slow, deep breathing. In the fields, dew-laden crops glimmer in soft moonlight. Grass bends gently under the breeze, casting delicate, moving shadows. Trees sway with subtle grace, their leaves whispering faintly in response to the night air. Settlers walking these fields move slowly, carefully, and attentively. Each step, each glance, each inhale aligns with the rhythm of moonlight and wind, reinforcing a sense of deliberate calm. The landscape itself seems to breathe in unison with those moving through it. Even the cottages appear transformed in this silver illumination. Wooden walls and roofs lose their harsh edges, softened by the gentle radiance. Windows reflect pale light back across the paths, mingling with the soft shadow of trees and fences. Chimneys emit faint, curling smoke that rises slowly into the night, appearing almost translucent against the moonlight. The village takes on a dreamlike quality, a living storybook scene, inviting calm observation and thoughtful stillness. Small sounds continue to play their role in the night. The distant lap of water against boats, the gentle rustle of leaves, the faint hum of crickets, and the soft calls of nocturnal creatures all merge into a quiet, immersive symphony. Each sound is subtle, unhurried, and harmonious, guiding attention slowly outward and inward at the same time, toward the beauty of the natural world and the serene rhythms of thought and breath. Settlers often pause to meditate or reflect in this light. Kneeling near the harbor, or leaning against a fence post, they inhale the cool night air deeply. Their minds follow the slow flow of moonlight across water and field. Thoughts drift gently, unforced, and unhurried, like tiny leaves floating on a silver stream. Even the simplest contemplations, a reflection on the day's work, gratitude for safety, or hope for the morning, become deliberate, restorative acts in the stillness of moonlight. Moonlight also highlights textures and patterns unnoticed during daylight. Dew clings to grass blades, forming tiny prisms of reflected light. Bark on trees appears softer and more intricate. The water's surface captures subtle changes in wind and movement, creating an endlessly shifting, mesmerizing display. Observing these details encourages slow attention, mindfulness, and immersion in the calm of the moment. In the village square, quiet conversations are shared under the moon's glow. Voices are soft, deliberate, and reflective. Settlers exchange observations about the natural world, the day's work, or simple stories from their past. The cadence of speech mirrors the rhythms of the night, slow, immersive, and deliberate. Pauses between sentences allow thought and imagination to wander gently, reinforcing relaxation and a meditative pace. Animals also respond to the moonlit calm. Cats move softly through cottages, dogs lie quietly near hearths, and birds perch still in trees, their silhouettes faint against the night sky. Even small insects move more slowly, contributing subtle sounds that complement the rhythm of moonlight and human presence. The village and its surroundings exist in perfect harmony, a symphony of deliberate motion, gentle sound, and reflective stillness. Finally, the moon rises higher, its light bathing the colony in a steady, luminous glow. Shadows fall softly and predictably, creating a sense of rhythm and safety. Settlers, children, and animals alike are drawn into this harmony. Every element, the shimmer on water, the sway of crops, the flicker of shadows, becomes a visual and mental cue for relaxation. Breathing slows, muscles release tension, and thoughts drift gently in the reflective glow. For those listening now, Plymouth Colony under moonlight offers more than visual beauty, it is a full-body, immersive lullaby. The combination of visual calm, soft ambient sound, deliberate human and animal movement, and reflective thought encourages deep relaxation, mindfulness, and restorative mental stillness. Attention naturally follows the slow, gentle rhythm of the night, guiding the listener towards sleep. As Plymouth Colony drifts into the heart of the night, a profound stillness settles over the village. The cottages are quiet, the harbor rests motionless, and the fields lie shrouded in silver shadows. Only the softest sounds, a gentle breeze through the trees, the subtle ripple of water, and the quiet stirrings of nocturnal life, remain to guide the mind into calm. Tonight, we follow these midnight whispers and the soothing rhythm of the wind, allowing them to carry us into serenity and gentle sleep. The wind moves slowly through the village, brushing against rooftops, chimneys, and fences. It carries the faint scent of salt from the harbor, the earthy aroma of dew-covered fields, and the soft whisper of pine and wild herbs. Each gust is light and deliberate, never harsh, as if the world itself is exhaling softly. The sound is barely audible, a hushed melody of rustling leaves and swaying branches that soothes the senses and invites a slow, reflective pace. Settlers who remain awake move cautiously, guided by the soft moonlight and flickering shadows. A fisherman checks a rope on a dock, his movements slow and deliberate, aligning with the rhythm of the night. A woman adjusts a blanket for a child sleeping nearby, her motions gentle and purposeful. Even these minor actions contribute to the immersive calm, creating a quiet choreography of movement that mirrors the slow, deliberate flow of the wind. The harbor rests under a soft blanket of moonlight, its surface shimmering with faint reflections of stars and distant lanterns. Boats sway gently with the breeze, ropes creaking softly in response. Each sound is deliberate, measured, and meditative, forming a natural rhythm that harmonizes with deep, slow breathing. Observers of this tranquil scene may feel their mind begin to settle, following the sway of water and subtle whispers of the wind toward a gentle, reflective calm. The fields beyond the village hum quietly in the night air. Grass bends under the light wind, its blades whispering softly to one another. Crops sway gently in the rhythm of the breeze, their movement almost imperceptible yet endlessly mesmerizing. Trees stretch toward the sky, their leaves rustling with minimal disturbance. These subtle motions, when observed slowly and attentively, create a hypnotic flow that encourages relaxation and deliberate attention to the present moment. nocturnal creatures add to the quiet symphony of the night. The distant call of an owl resonates softly, followed by the faint rustle of small animals moving through underbrush. Even insects hum and chirp with subtle rhythm, contributing a gentle background to the dominant sounds of wind, water, and human presence. Together, these elements form a layered, immersive environment that encourages mindfulness. Slow breathing and deep relaxation. In cottages, soft, measured breaths can be heard as families settle fully into sleep. Fires burn low, casting dim light across walls and floors. The flicker of embers, the occasional crackle of wood, and the subtle sway of smoke create a hypnotic pattern. Eyes follow the movement without effort, ears attend to gentle sounds, and the mind drifts naturally into calm awareness. The interplay of light, shadow, and sound forms a complete sensory lullaby. Even minor details in the night contribute to the overall rhythm. A lantern sways slightly in a gentle breeze, casting moving shadows across a path. Dew glistens faintly on a fence post. The reflection of a distant star dances across a boat's hull. These subtle movements are soft and slow, inviting the observer's attention without urgency. The mind can follow the delicate pattern, aligning with the measured pace of the night and settling into reflective calm. Settlers sometimes step outside briefly to breathe in the fresh night air. Each inhalation is deep and deliberate, carrying with it the scents of the harbor, fields, and pine woods. Each exhale is slow, releasing tension and aligning the body with the steady rhythm of the night. Even simple movements, stretching, shifting weight from foot to foot, brushing clothing, become meditative exercises, reinforcing a profound sense of peace. The moonlight, still soft and steady, guides these moments. Its glow stretches across cottages, fields, and the harbor, illuminating textures and shapes in a dreamlike, soothing way. Shadows fall gently, stretching long and soft across the land. Observers notice the subtle differences in light, the gentle flow of brightness across surfaces, and the interplay of shadow and reflection. Every subtle detail becomes a cue for mindfulness, encouraging the mind to slow, observe, and drift into calm reflection. Even the quietest conversations are measured, deliberate, and low. A whisper between parents about the day, or a soft question from a child still awake, is gentle and slow, reinforcing the immersive calm. Speech is minimal and intentional, complementing the natural rhythm of the night and emphasizing stillness over urgency. Listeners are drawn into this calm cadence, where words themselves become a kind of lullaby. As midnight deepens, the wind grows softer, the whispers of nature more subtle. Settlers retreat fully into their cottages or to their simple sleeping mats, guided by the immersive rhythms of wind, water, and distant sounds. Even the harbor, once active with the faint creak of ropes, now rests in almost perfect stillness. Every element of the night contributes to an overarching sense of calm, reinforcing deep, reflective tranquility. For those listening now, Plymouth Colony at midnight offers a full sensory lullaby. Gentle wind, subtle rustling, soft water ripples, faint nocturnal calls, and the slow rhythm of human presence all combine to create an immersive, restorative experience. Observing or imagining this scene encourages deep breathing, relaxed muscles, and mental stillness. Thoughts drift naturally in harmony with the steady pace of night, preparing the mind for gentle sleep. With midnight deepening into the quiet hours, Plymouth Colony lies still under a vast, darkened sky. The village streets are hushed, cottages rest in shadow, and only the soft glow of moonlight and stars illuminates the world. Tonight, We wander through this serene nocturnal landscape, letting the gentle shimmer of stars and the soft silence of empty streets carry us toward calm reflection and restorative sleep. Above, the night sky is a tapestry of countless stars. Each one shines softly, distant yet vivid, a steady point of light in the deep indigo and velvet black expanse. The constellations trace familiar patterns across the heavens, their slow, timeless presence offering a sense of continuity and tranquility. Observers feel the mind quiet, following the gentle arrangement of stars as they drift silently across the dark canvas. The streets of Plymouth Colony are empty, save for the occasional settling of a wooden door or the soft creak of a shutter in the evening breeze. Cobblestones and dirt paths reflect faint moonlight, creating subtle silver highlights on worn edges and uneven surfaces. The quiet is profound, broken only by soft, distant sounds, a dog stirring, the faint rustle of leaves, or the gentle lap of water at the harbor. Each sound, sparse and deliberate, encourages focus and mindfulness, guiding the observer into deep, reflective calm. Lanterns glow faintly in cottage windows, their warm light softened by curtains or glass panes. Shadows stretch long and soft across the village, mingling with the natural darkness. The interplay of light and shadow creates a gentle rhythm across streets, roofs, and fences, drawing the eye slowly along each curve and angle. The movement of shadows is subtle, almost hypnotic, inviting a contemplative, immersive attention to surroundings. The harbor, now fully quiet, mirrors the stars above. Water ripples gently, reflecting faint points of light from both the night sky and distant lanterns. Boats sway with minimal movement, their masts slicing delicate lines through the silver reflections. The calm, mirrored surface is mesmerizing, offering a visual rhythm that mirrors slow, deliberate breathing. Observing the harbor encourages the mind to soften, following the gentle dance of reflections across water and shadow. Fields bordering the village are shrouded in a soft, silver haze. Grass blades glisten faintly with dew, and crops stretch silently under the starlit sky. Trees sway ever so slightly in the soft night breeze, their leaves whispering quietly. The gentle motion of nature provides a calming, deliberate rhythm for the mind to follow. Even the smallest details, the curve of a fence post, the silhouette of a roofline, or the subtle shimmer of dew, become opportunities for slow observation and meditative attention. The quiet streets encourage reflection. The mind, unobstructed by daytime noise and activity, can drift along soft thoughts, gentle memories, or imagine scenes of the village in its quieter times. The stillness allows attention to settle, aligning with the natural rhythm of breathing, heartbeat, and ambient sounds. This meditative atmosphere helps release tension, promote calm, and prepare the body and mind for sleep. Nocturnal animals contribute subtly to the immersive soundscape. Owls call softly from distant trees, crickets hum a gentle, constant rhythm, and small mammals move quietly through fields and hedgerows. These natural sounds, delicate and unhurried, blend seamlessly with the gentle creaks of the village and the soft rustling of leaves. Together, they form a layered auditory environment that enhances relaxation and promotes mindful presence. Even the faintest motions of settlers who may be awake are deliberate and unhurried. A figure walking along the harbor edge moves slowly, aligning footsteps with the soft rhythm of water and wind. A hand adjusts a candle near a window, allowing the warm glow to linger without abrupt change. These small actions, observed from a distance, create a sense of measured calm that permeates the village. The stars themselves seem to pulse with a quiet consistency, their distant light steady and reassuring. Some glimmer faintly, others shine more brightly, but all contribute to the overarching sense of calm. Observers may follow individual stars with the mind's eye, tracing their subtle paths across the night sky, imagining the vast, gentle sweep of the heavens above. This slow, deliberate focus promotes mental stillness and a sense of alignment with natural rhythms. The combination of celestial and terrestrial stillness creates a meditative environment. Moonlight, starlight, soft shadows, and subtle human or animal motion interact in a layered sensory experience. Eyes, ears, and the mind are engaged in gentle observation, following slow rhythms and subtle patterns that mirror the natural pace of rest and reflection. The village becomes a sanctuary for the senses, a place where the mind can wander without urgency. For those listening or imagining Plymouth Colony in this hour, the scene is a full-body lullaby. The silent streets, twinkling stars, shimmering reflections, and soft ambient sounds form a cohesive, immersive environment. Attention drifts naturally from one gentle detail to another, the faint sway of branches, the ripple of water, the subtle glow of lanterns, the shimmer of starlight. Breathing slows, muscles relax, and the mind settles into reflective calm. As Plymouth Colony rests in the deep stillness of night, the world seems to slow to a deliberate, serene rhythm. While the settlers sleep and the streets remain quiet, life continues gently in the natural world around them. Tonight, we wander through the subtle, immersive world of late-night animals and soft, soothing sounds, allowing these gentle elements to guide the mind toward calm, reflective rest. The first sounds one notices are the soft rustling of leaves and the faint movement of nocturnal creatures in the fields and woods surrounding the colony. A fox moves quietly through long grass, each step careful and deliberate. Its paws barely disturb the dew-laden blades, and its soft breaths mingle with the cool night air. Observing this slow, deliberate motion can draw the mind into a quiet, meditative focus, following the rhythm of animal movement and natural sound. Owls call softly from distant trees, their hoots spaced with measured pauses. Each note resonates across the village and harbor, echoing gently in the stillness. The sound is soothing, deliberate, and hypnotic, allowing the listener's mind to align with the calm cadence of the night. Even without looking, one can imagine the wings cutting silently through the air, the feathers gliding without effort, perfectly in harmony with the gentle rhythm of the evening. Small mammals, like rabbits and hedgehogs, move quietly through underbrush and fields. Their subtle rustles, barely perceptible, add to the layered soundscape of the colony's nighttime world. Each movement is gentle, almost imperceptible, yet contributes to the overall rhythm of quiet activity that encourages focus and relaxation. Observers may find themselves tracking these motions with imagination, drawing deeper into immersive calm. Crickets hum a steady, unhurried rhythm, forming a constant background melody that fills the spaces between softer, intermittent sounds. Their chorus is gentle and repetitive, like the ticking of a clock or the lapping of waves, providing a subtle structure to the soundscape. When listened to slowly and attentively, the hum of crickets can guide breathing, slow the mind, and support a meditative state conducive to sleep. The soft rush of wind through trees and grass mingles seamlessly with animal sounds, forming a layered auditory environment. The breeze carries scents of salt from the nearby harbor, earthy soil, and night-blooming herbs. Each inhalation is grounding, bringing attention fully into the present, while each exhale releases tension, aligning the body and mind with the natural rhythm of the night. Frogs near ponds or streams add occasional, gentle croaks to the tapestry of sound. Their calls are soft and spaced with natural pauses, echoing faintly across fields and water. These deliberate, measured sounds complement the owl calls. rustling leaves, and cricket hum, reinforcing the immersive rhythm of nighttime life. Every layer of sound contributes to a sense of harmony, balance, and slow, reflective calm. Settlers themselves are mostly asleep, but those who remain awake move quietly, mindful of the stillness surrounding them. A figure might tend a lantern near the harbor, or a hand might brush softly across a window shutter. Every action is measured, deliberate, and unobtrusive, aligning with the deliberate pace of nature and night. This careful harmony between human and animal activity fosters a sense of cohesion, serenity, and mental ease. Even the water participates in the nighttime rhythm. Small ripples lap gently against the edges of docks or the sides of boats. Occasionally, a fish breaks the surface briefly, causing a faint splash that blends effortlessly into the surrounding quiet. The interplay of moving water, gentle wind, and nocturnal sounds forms a hypnotic pattern that is ideal for immersion, reflection, and relaxation. The stars above continue to shimmer faintly, their light reflected across fields, rooftops, and the harbor. Each twinkle is soft and distant, providing subtle illumination without distraction. Shadows move slowly across the landscape, influenced by both moonlight and lantern glow. The combination of visual subtlety and auditory layering creates a fully immersive nighttime environment, engaging senses gently while encouraging mental release and deep calm. Settlers may quietly step outside to breathe in the crisp night air, aligning their movements with the rhythm of sounds around them. Every inhalation carries scents and subtle vibrations of nature, every exhale releases tension accumulated from the day. Observing these moments encourages the mind to slow, attention to soften, and thoughts to drift gradually, allowing sleep to come naturally. Even small details add to the hypnotic effect. The shimmer of dew on grass blades, the gentle sway of branches, or the faint glimmer of a distant lantern reflected in water can draw attention slowly, without effort. Eyes, mind, and body follow these movements naturally, creating a meditative flow of awareness and relaxation. Each detail is an invitation to observe, immerse, and release tension gently. The chorus of animals, the subtle sway of wind, and the reflective shimmer of water work together as a nocturnal lullaby. Owls, foxes, frogs, crickets, and subtle human activity form a seamless rhythm that aligns with the natural pace of nighttime. Observers or listeners, immersed in this gentle symphony, feel their breathing slow, muscles relax, and thoughts drift naturally along the calm currents of the colony's night. As the deepest part of night slowly fades, a delicate change begins to stir over Plymouth Colony. The moon sinks lower, and a faint, pale light emerges along the horizon. The world feels softer, quieter, and more expectant, as if holding its breath in anticipation of dawn. Tonight, or perhaps early morning, we drift with the settlers and the gentle awakening of the village, allowing soft light, muted sounds, and deliberate movements to carry the mind into calm reflection and serene relaxation. The first signs of morning are subtle. A pale glow creeps along the edge of the sky, tinged with soft lavender, pink, and silver hues. Shadows stretch long and faint, dissolving gently as the light spreads. Roofs, fences, and fields begin to catch the tiniest glimmer of the new day, and dew reflects the subtle illumination in delicate sparkles. These early, understated visual cues are gentle and unhurried, inviting a slow, immersive awareness that aligns perfectly with the rhythm of restful attention. Even the air shifts, cool and fragrant. A soft breeze carries hints of salt from the harbor, earthy aromas from the fields, and the subtle sweetness of night-blooming flowers fading into morning scents. Every inhalation grounds the observer in the present, while every exhale releases the lingering tension of night. Breathing in this delicate, early light reinforces a sense of calm and prepares the mind and body for gentle transition. The harbor is quiet and reflective, a mirror of the subtle sky above. Boats, still resting, cast faint shadows on the water. Small ripples shift with the soft breeze, catching and scattering the first light of dawn. Lanterns long extinguished fade into darkness, leaving only the natural illumination to guide the eye. The slow, reflective movement of water provides a soothing rhythm, encouraging the mind to follow the gentle ebb and flow of early morning currents. Animals respond subtly to this transition. Owls retreat to hidden branches, their soft hoots fading. Crickets quiet gradually, replaced by the tentative calls of birds waking from slumber. Rabbits and foxes retreat to shaded areas, leaving only the gentlest rustle of leaves behind. The layered sounds of night soften and merge with early morning whispers, creating a calm, immersive auditory environment that signals rest moving into gentle wakefulness. Settlers begin to stir slowly, deliberately, in alignment with the soft rhythms of dawn. A hand stretches, muscles yawning gently. A parent rises carefully, mindful of sleeping children, and walks to a window or doorway to feel the first light. Every movement is measured, slow, and intentional, creating a seamless harmony between human activity and the subtle natural changes around them. This deliberate pacing allows the mind to move with the rhythms of dawn rather than rushing. Promoting calm awareness and mental serenity, the village streets remain largely empty, but a few early risers tread softly on dew-dampened paths. Footsteps are careful and deliberate, each contact with the earth measured and slow. Settlers pause occasionally to observe the harbor, the fields, or the sky, letting the faint light guide reflection and thought. Each moment, unhurried and quiet, reinforces the immersive, meditative pace of early morning life. Fields glisten with dew, grass blades and crops sparkling faintly in the emerging light. The gentle sway of leaves and stems mirrors the subtle movement of air and water. Settlers who pass through these areas, tending early chores, checking the harbor, or walking quietly, move in rhythm with this calm, reflective world. Every step and breath synchronizes with the slow unfolding of morning, creating a deliberate, meditative connection with the natural world. Birdsong begins softly, delicate and tentative. A few notes here, a faint trill there, gradually growing into a quiet chorus. The melody is gentle, hypnotic, and restorative, guiding the mind into slow awareness while preserving the lingering calm of night. Listeners can allow each note to drift into their consciousness, aligning with deep breathing and soft relaxation, cultivating a reflective and serene mental state. The harbor's water mirrors this transformation beautifully. Ripples shimmer with soft hints of rose and silver as the first light touches the waves. Boats sway subtly, their movement slow and deliberate, echoing the quiet rhythm of settling and waking. The interplay of water, light, and gentle sound forms a hypnotic, meditative flow, guiding attention naturally toward calm awareness. Even the cottages catch this early illumination in subtle ways. Roofs and walls glow faintly, windows reflecting the soft sky, and smoke from early hearth fires rises in slow, curling tendrils. The interplay of light, shadow, and movement creates a layered visual experience that encourages deep observation and a sense of quiet immersion. Settlers' careful movements. Whether preparing for morning chores or simply opening shutters, harmonize with these cues, reinforcing a peaceful, reflective mood. Insects hum faintly, still carrying remnants of nighttime rhythm, but their presence blends with the soft rustle of leaves. Gentle bird calls, and delicate reflections on water. The combined soundscape is layered and immersive yet subtle, promoting slow, meditative attention. Each note, rustle, or ripple is an opportunity to synchronize mind, body, and breath with the calming rhythm of early morning. For those imagining Plymouth Colony at this hour, the world feels deliberate and unhurried. Every element, the soft sky, reflective water, rustling leaves, dew-laden fields, and gentle human movement, contributes to a profound sense of calm. Observers can allow attention to drift slowly from one subtle detail to another, following the measured pace of dawn, releasing tension, and cultivating restorative presence. As light spreads further, the colony is bathed in a soft, warm glow. Shadows retreat, colors deepen, and textures become more distinct, yet the overall rhythm remains gentle and unhurried. The village transitions seamlessly from night to morning. The first full light of morning spreads gently across Plymouth Colony. The sky is soft and pale, painted in muted shades of lavender, rose, and silver, as if the world itself is stretching and yawning after a long night. The village, harbor, and surrounding fields are bathed in this quiet glow, the light revealing textures and colors without harshness. Every detail of the landscape feels deliberate and calm, as if designed to soothe the mind and ease the body into a gentle rhythm. Settlers begin their day with slow, careful movements. Doors open with soft creaks, footsteps fall lightly on dew-dampened paths, and hands brush gently across fences, water, and shutters. Nothing is rushed, and every action seems in harmony with the pace of the morning. Parents gently wake children, their voices soft and measured, and even small domestic sounds, the rustle of blankets, the clink of a cup, or the low murmur of conversation, are delicate and deliberate, blending seamlessly with the stillness of the dawn. The harbor shimmers in the morning light, reflecting the soft pastel sky above. Boats sway slowly, their outlines softened by distance and the reflective water. Ripples move gently, creating a hypnotic, meditative pattern that mirrors the rhythm of human breath. Observers can let their attention follow these patterns, moving from one shimmering reflection to the next. Drawing the mind into calm focus and restorative presence, animals respond to the morning in gentle, predictable ways. Birds begin their soft songs, tentative yet melodic, filling the air with soothing rhythms. Rabbits emerge from hidden spots in the grass, stretching and moving slowly through the fields. The occasional duck or goose floats across the harbor, creating delicate ripples in the water. All of these movements, observed slowly and attentively, form a living lullaby, a natural harmony that encourages relaxation and peaceful reflection. The village streets remain quiet, almost reverent in their stillness. Shadows retreat further as the sun rises, and the interplay of light and texture becomes more apparent. Cobblestones, fences, and cottages glisten softly with morning dew. The soft, deliberate presence of settlers moving slowly through the streets reinforces the immersive calm, inviting the mind to wander gently, unhurried, and at ease. In the fields and gardens, crops and plants stretch toward the sun, their leaves glistening with droplets of dew. A gentle breeze moves through the tall grass, creating a subtle rustle, while flowers tilt softly toward the morning light. Every motion is slow and deliberate, every sound delicate and measured. Observers or listeners can imagine the tactile sensations: cool air brushing the skin, the soft give of grass underfoot, and the faint perfume of earth and bloom. These sensations encourage grounding, mindfulness, and gentle immersion in the present. The settlers' daily tasks begin with measured care. Water is drawn slowly from wells, fires are lit in hearths with careful attention, and breakfast preparations unfold quietly. Each action is mindful, a deliberate rhythm that mirrors the broader pace of the morning. Even seemingly mundane chores, the washing of dishes, the smoothing of blankets, or the sweeping of a path, are performed in harmony with the slow unfolding of the day, providing a visual and auditory meditation that supports calm and reflection. The sky continues to brighten, pale hues deepening into gentle golds and soft blues. Clouds drift lazily, stretching across the horizon without urgency. Their movement is subtle, a visual lullaby that encourages the mind to slow and follow its pace. The interplay of sun, clouds, shadows, and reflections on water creates a layered sensory experience, immersive and calming, perfect for easing into a state of mental relaxation. As the village awakens fully, the harmony between human and natural rhythms remains intact. Settlers move with quiet purpose, animals respond gently to the increasing light, and the elements, the breeze, the water, the rustle of leaves, interact seamlessly with the soft sounds of early activity. Attention can drift from one soothing element to the next, the shimmer of sunlight on water, the soft movement of grass, the distant call of a bird, or the measured steps of a passerby. Each invites deliberate focus and immersive calm. Now, as we near the end of our journey through Plymouth Colony, we pause to reflect on the quiet beauty of this village and its rhythms. Every night, every moonlit harbor, every whisper of wind and sound of animals contributes to a world of gentle, immersive history, a world where observation, reflection, and presence bring peace and rest. The colony itself becomes a story of calm, where the ordinary and the extraordinary merge seamlessly, offering both historical insight and a soothing experience. For those listening, allow your mind to linger on the gentle scenes we have observed together, the soft reflections on water, the slow sway of crops and trees, the deliberate movements of settlers, and the delicate rhythms of nocturnal and early morning life. Each memory of these sights and sounds can guide your breathing, slow your heartbeat, and release tension in the body. Imagine yourself walking slowly through the village, feeling the soft earth beneath your feet, inhaling the fragrant morning air, and listening carefully to the delicate symphony of nature and human life. Now, as you imagine Plymouth Colony bathed in this calm, early morning light, allow all remaining thoughts of urgency or stress to dissolve. The world here moves slowly, deliberately, and gently, in harmony with your own breath and awareness. You are safe, you are calm, and your mind can drift effortlessly along the rhythms of the colony, the harbor, the fields, and the sky above. Let the soft warmth of dawn, the gentle movement of water, the quiet presence of animals, and the deliberate, unhurried motions of settlers carry you toward complete relaxation. Feel the serenity of this moment, the immersive calm, and the gentle, restorative rhythm of life unfolding slowly around you. If you are still awake, take a slow, gentle breath. Feel your body release any lingering tension. Let the soft, calm sounds of Plymouth Colony guide your mind. Drift slowly, peacefully, carrying the quiet whispers of history with you. Good night.